everyone, and welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show.
So funny, I was like super empowered. I don't think I could sleep.
Still follows the same rules, has the same characters and all that stuff,
Yes.
but it just tweaks it a little bit.
You're reading fantasy, and it's so grounded. It's so completely grounded in reality.
Rule clarification, if we both get it wrong, do we get bonus points?
Soldier Simmons, it is my pleasure to now pin you, raising you from the rank of soldier to dedicated.
That didn't happen in the books, but it was awesome.
I nailed it.
I nailed that.
I nailed it. Let me bring you comfort about Egwene. I know you haven't seen her in a month, but let me tell you this story about how badass she is right now.
That fight scene, my boy went through 5 daggers.
Everybody's flower is different. I think we learned that in the books. This is I think for me, top 5 moments ever on screen.
When I read it, I felt empowered. I felt called to action.
One of the best quotes in the whole series is when Gaul says, "Do you like to dance, Perrin Abara?"
The Knights Who Say Chill.
AKA the band of really, really nice good guys.
Let a couple more drink on.
You're saying everywhere.
I am.
Do you have a chaser should you need it?
Can I have a little bit of mine too?
Oh, no.
Yo, this is good.
Young people do like this now or something instead of this.
Oh, they do. It's like this.
It's the heart emoji.
Don't jiggle, jiggle.
It folds. I like the way you wiggle,
You
Oh,
wiggle.
show. We're going to review the entirety of season 1 of the Wheel of Time, the whole thing. Finale of Rings of Power. Welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show. Hello, 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 and welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show. We are back once again to talk about the newest episode in The Wheel of Time, Season 3. The newest episode and the second last episode of this season.
Boo.
Press F to pay respects in the chat, y'all. It's almost over, which is so sad.
That went really fast.
It went so fast. But yeah, we are here to talk about a massive episode. Episode 7. The Two Rivers plot. They called it Golden Eyes, if I'm remembering right.
Yes.
Yes. And we have here, as is our way, a show-only guest for the first hour of the stream. We haven't chatted with Meredith since season 2, so we're very excited to get caught up with her and hear what she's thought about the season so far and specifically about this episode, because as I recall, there's a couple standout characters from this episode that she had a particular fondness for last season. So we're gonna catch up on all of that this episode, this live stream. Well, I think I'm remembering right, but I thought it was Loial. I thought you liked Loial.
Oh, Loial, I did love. I honestly, there's so many good characters in this episode. I love Alana and Maxim too. I've loved having them in the Two Rivers. I love.
That's a good one because there's been a lot of controversy over that this season.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess what we usually do, and I know you don't really have any content to plug or anything like that. Meredith is a personal friend of mine. You're welcome to introduce yourself however you want to introduce yourself. Tell us about your amazing pet or your hobbies or how you got into the Wheel of Time, and then we'll introduce ourselves briefly, and then we'll dive right into the episode.
Hi everyone, I'm Meredith. Like Kritter said, back from last season. I'll mention my pet because he might show up on screen, but he is biting my sweater, so he is out of here for right now. But his name is Stevie. He loves watching Wheel of Time with me. I got into the show because of Kritter. Haven't gotten to the books yet, but I could see it happening one day. Because I feel like anytime this series ends, like anytime a season ends, like I am wanting more. So maybe one day.
Okay.
So are you under the NDA from Kritter to not read the books until we milk every last interview out of you?
No, I didn't know. It'll take me a while to catch up, I feel like. Or would I only qualify if I haven't read any books?
So far it's if they've read no books.
Yeah.
So
Don't read them yet. Don't read them.
I'm not gonna say don't read them, but if you do read them,
I will.
then we'll have to rethink your guest status. But we love
That's
reading,
good to know.
so,
Okay.
Yeah. We heavily
Don't let them
encourage-
bully you around, Meredith. You stand your ground. You do what you want to
We
do.
heavily
Don't read 'em,
encourage
don't read 'em.
reading after the series is over, which will hopefully be in 5 to 10 years. But we'll see. We'll see.
Ouch.
We'll see. Lock137 in the chat says, love hearing from show only people, so many different perspectives. Jenny G highly recommends the audiobooks. The first 4 narrated by Rosamund Pike. Completely agree with that. They're incredible. But again, 5 to 10 years. We'll catch up.
5 to 10 years.
Okay, so Stevie the cat, you got into the Wheel of Time because of me. No surprise there. Anything else you want to say before we introduce ourselves? No? Okay, Winespring, why don't you go ahead?
Hey everybody, Winespring, glad you're here. You can find me on X at Winespring Cafe, where I have Wheel of Time recipes in just the article section of my profile and at winespringcafe.com. Check them out. And also I see Davey Elmer saying no reading for you, Meredith. So I think that means no reading. That's enough of us saying don't do it.
Okay, well, eat Winespring Cafe's food, I think is what
nom-noms.
we're saying. The recipes are fabulous. All right, Tav, why don't you go ahead?
Hello, I am Ta'veren Tavern.
Hello.
I design merch and stuff on occasion. So I've been putting a lot of stuff out there in the last couple of weeks. So please go to Redbubble and check that out. That's a nice sweater you have on. I also have my old. This is old school stuff. That's an old school sweater. This is an old school Whitecloaks shirt. And Critter's got the mugs. Mine is back there somewhere. Anyways, thank you. Aside from that, I'm just here to talk about stuff and things, and I'm excited.
Tavern is an incredibly talented designer, so if you haven't checked out his Redbubble store, you should. The links to Winespring's X, Twitter, and Tav's Redbubble are all in the description of this video, so you can check them out. I am Kritter XD. You are on my YouTube channel right now. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would ask that maybe you give that one a think. Maybe you should do it. You could like this video if you wanted to help it with the algorithm. That would be super cool. And I'm super happy to see so far 133 of you in the YouTube chat. Appreciate you all for being here. And we'll see where we go as the stream goes on. I'm also on TikTok. I do sci-fi fantasy content with a major focus on the Wheel of Time. I'm on Instagram if you're not on TikTok. And I'm Egwene. I'll be here on X. And you can also find me at Kritter XD, where I talk about my more personal stuff. I'm also on Blue Sky, Threads, literally almost any social media platform. You're going to find me there. Is it a problem? Yes, but here we are. Okay, so it's time to get talking about this episode because holy,
yes,
it was quite the episode. So, Meredith, let's talk about the season first. Sorry, I'm keeping you waiting. How have you felt about this season so far compared to the first season and the second season?
It's been incredible, I feel. I think it's just been like one episode after the other, just like can't look away, like can't wait for the next one. And I was pretty busy at the beginning of the season, so I waited until I think like 5 of them had come out and watched them, like pretty much binged them. And that was so much fun. I mean, it was just like a crazy start to the season. And I was like, I had high expectations because I feel like the season finale of season 2 was incredible. And it just like picked up, right where it left off, and has been so exciting the whole time. And like sometimes with a show like this, there are certain plot lines that like I get a little bored of, or like I'm not as excited when they spend time with those particular characters. But like this season, I've loved every single plot line.
Yes, I love that. So have you been listening to The Hills of Tanchico on repeat on Spotify since
I've been singing it.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's gonna be in my Spotify Wrapped without
it's
a doubt.
Singing and in the shower kind of song.
For sure. I've been singing it to the Baby Dragon actually, like whenever we're hanging out, just in the car.
You know what the feels that or the vibe that song gave me, Kritter, and you'll appreciate this.
What's that?
It was the same vibe I got when I first heard Ya Ya Ding Dong on Eurovision.
Wow.
The Legend of
the
Fire
song of
Saga.
Ice and, whatever. The Legend of Fire Saga. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Did
hilarious.
you guys know that Elaine could sing? Because for some reason, I think I did know. Like, I don't know why I would have known, but like, I was like, she's gonna crush this. But
I love the confidence.
She was
Right?
good.
we haven't
Really
seen it
good.
before.
I don't think we've seen her sing. No.
No.
And what's funny is in the Spotify track, I'm not sure we heard it in the show, but on the Spotify track, Donal Finn, who's Matt, the guy who plays Matt, he's a play actor. He's incredible. He actually got a ton of accolades for a recent thing that he did that I literally forgot again, even though you guys tell me almost every stream.
Chat, what's the name of Donald's play?
I feel so bad. I can never remember it. But anyways, I'm not a musicals girly, but I am impressed by his talent. And he has like an accompanying, he sings as an accompaniment on the Hills of Tanchico track on Spotify. And they're both incredible. Apparently, Rafe Judkins, the showrunner, heard her sing at like a rap party, like the season rap party or something.
Not like a Ren DMC party.
And was like, we are going to get you to sing in the show. And he did, which is amazing. Hadestown.
There
Thank
it
you.
is.
Oh,
Good job.
Yeah, so he was apparently incredible in that, which I believe because he's got a beautiful voice. And I want to, and there's a good chance, because in the books Matt does sing, that we'll hear him sing at some point too. Okay.
Yay.
So you were expecting it to be amazing. It's been amazing. I love that for all of us. How did this episode compare for you to like the rest of the season?
I think this is my favorite episode.
Baby.
Like,
Yay.
Wow.
I think just like the way I felt watching it, because like I couldn't look away. You know, like all the lights in my house were off, like no phones, just like fully locked in. And it was like, you know, it had a lot of just great elements, like epic battle, lots of love, emotional moments, and, you know, like an important character arc. And so I don't know. It was just like, I really appreciated them sticking with the Two Rivers the whole episode, which I wasn't sure. I didn't know that that's what the episode would be.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. I think
they definitely needed the time for that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in that way, it kind of compared to, if you remember in episode 4, it was the episode that Rand and Moraine went into Meridian. Did you appreciate the focus in that episode as well?
Totally. And I was just thinking that, like, before we started, like, what other episodes was it the full focus? And in both, I think it was deserved and needed. So, and that was, I feel like that was probably my second favorite episode. Like, that one was really good too. I don't know. I love the, like, depth in both of those.
I'm really glad that was up there for you in episodes, because I do wonder, as like we all kind of wonder as book readers, how, you know, stuff that gets really like lore heavy, right? Like the backstory of the Aiel, how that resonates with like show only people, right? Because we're super into it, obviously, because we've been reading about it, but we don't know how that's going to hit with show people.
Yeah.
I think, I love it because I don't know a ton of the lore. Like, it's nice to get more background.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was something I really was like left wanting more of at the end of the first season. Like, I remember just being like, I have no idea what's happening.
I kind of remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I need more info. So I love anytime we get like some insight.
Nice. Oh, Dana Luhu in the chat, thank you so much for the reminder. Show only talk for now, please. Trust me, I will put up a flag and I will let everyone know whenever we are going full book spoilers. But for the moment, we are staying show only. Okay, thank you for agreeing to that.
Yeah, I'm not going to call out any names, but if you keep it up, I'm bringing a brass dagger, a musical instrument, and some other stuff.
Nice.
To the chat. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. So we had a question for Meredith before the stream even started. So I'm going to, before I forget, which I don't think I would, but before I forget, I'm going to ask you. So Mrs. Ange Bella is wondering, Meredith, how you felt about both Perrin and Loial coming into the episode and how you felt about them after the episode. And you can take them one at a time. You don't have to like bounce back and forth.
I think, I don't know. I was really proud of both of them. Not surprised by, I don't know. I'm honestly, maybe because I didn't read the books, I was not surprised by what happened with Loial, but like devastated.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He kind of has that, like, I don't know. I was sort of expecting a sacrifice and knew it wasn't going to be like Perrin wasn't going to die. So I was like, this might be the end of Loial, which is devastating.
Yeah.
But
At what point did you think like this could be the end of
when
it?
he went in there, like I don't know. I didn't know what closing the gate was going to entail, but like when he went in there, I was like, oh, I don't know if he's coming back from this.
Oh wow! Well, you were way ahead of the game for me. I was I was literally making fun of him. Like, what are you doing, hitting like the way gate with a hammer, Loial, like 1 second before he died, and now I feel like a jerk.
Because I had no idea how like any other way that they would close it. I thought at first he was just gonna be like closed, and then when he went in, I was like, oh.
Well, wait, you guys didn't expect him to not come back out? They set it all up for that, and at least that's the way I saw it. When he told the maidens to watch his back, that was just basically saying, I'm not coming back.
Okay, well, here's the deal. That's not how it happened in the books.
I know that.
And not ready at all.
And in the books, there is a way to permanently seal way gates. And so that's what I was waiting for. It doesn't involve hitting the door.
Yeah, there's no beating on the door in that one.
So anyways, they changed it. They did change it. But it was, oh my God, what a moment. Like, so did you like the moment, Meredith?
Yeah, I mean, it was... Yeah, I think it was like the perfect, it sucks to lose a great character, but at least it's in a way that is very meaningful. And I was like, wow, memorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was other things too, like just the way he said goodbye to Perrin, and Perrin was like, go home. Like, I don't know, that sort of goodbye, I'm not expecting to see each other. I just I just had a bad feeling that it wouldn't end well for him.
Got called out, Kritter.
What?
Somebody said no book spoilers, Kritter.
Okay.
Said
Does that count as a book
I said it didn't happen that way in the books. I didn't say
no, but I just love our
happened.
chat. Our chat is sassy.
But no, I appreciate it, Joe White. Keep me honest. But I didn't think that was a spoiler. I'm trying to use my best judgment. So you went into this episode liking Loial? How like attached were you?
Love Loial.
Okay.
And I loved the scene with when he played the Maiden's Kiss finally.
Nice.
That was amazing.
Great. I love those two Ajahs ladies. And to answer the other part of the question, I always liked Perrin. And I've loved watching him like back in the Two Rivers, and like I think I like his storyline a lot more this season than in previous seasons, and it's been fun watching him like become a leader and meet because like don't you guys feel like he hasn't always like been out of all the characters, like he's been not as much of a leader as some of the other ones, and have been loving his relationship with Loial, and and I kind of also thought he said he would turn himself in at the end, and I feel like he's pretty honorable and like honest, and I anticipated that he would do that, and I thought it was pretty beautiful.
Nice.
I don't know, I love both of them.
Okay, I love that. Let's see. Okay, sorry, I'm just double checking on the chat. You guys gotta you're keeping your eyes on me. I'm keeping my eyes on you. All right. So you like Loial? Do you think like how do I phrase this? Well, I think it's not a book spoiler because it's like past, but in the books also
just whisper it and I'll tell
the
you.
books also they didn't have Perrin with a wife at the beginning. Okay.
Oh.
So Loial in the books is Perrin's first love interest. So do you think the Layla thing like is a barrier to this at all, or were you like ready for Perrin to move on?
I've been ready for him to move on. Yeah. I feel like if anything, maybe I'm misremembering, but like I feel like at the beginning of the first season they didn't seem like, oh my god, my cat.
Feisty back
there. They didn't seem, they were in a tough place maybe. Like I don't remember them being like super in love seeming at the beginning. I'm sure that they had love, but maybe they were in like a rocky part of the relationship, and obviously he's been feeling very guilty over the years, but I think it's okay to move on.
Yeah.
An accident, and Loial seems like a good fit for him. Obviously we don't know what his relationship was like with her, like whatever early on. But yeah, I think I'd be interested with
don't do it. I don't want to
can't stop watching the cat.
I don't want to see it.
I'm invested in this moment.
Without him having had lost his wife, like what other sort of things he had been through that kind of built his character up. Like, I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine him without that element.
There's other things, but they didn't do them. So that they basically swapped those things for the wife thing. So do you see Perrin and Loial going the distance?
I think so. I'm still kind of waiting to see what she's about. Like, I really like her, but I don't know. She's clearly, like, the way she was introduced into the story, she was lying about her identity, and she said she wanted to, find the horn. And then I think in a previous episode, we learned that, like, if you kill the person who had the horn, then you can get the horn. So that like stressed me out when he told me that. So I was, so there's a couple things that are on my mind about her, but that, like, is she really willing to, like, give up that ambition to, like, is she just going to stay in the Two Rivers with Perrin? Are they going to be able to, like, be ambitious together? She just seems very, like, she was on a mission, and it's hard for me to believe she would jump off that mission just because she, like, falls in love. But that doesn't mean that they can't go the distance. I don't see them staying there forever.
She's a strong, independent woman who's got her own thing going. I love that.
There's a Kritter supporter in the chat, which is funny because it's her channel. But I think it's inadvertent because they wrote, "Wasn't Perrin's wife a dark friend? Didn't Padden Fane infer this?"
That was my theory. Unproven.
I love our chat.
Meredith looks shocked.
I am.
No, that was not. Again, Perrin's
bad.
wife doesn't exist in the books, and so my theory was that it doesn't matter that he killed her because she was a dark friend. But that's unproven completely. So I take it that was not the vibe we
Padden
got.
Fane hint at that?
I don't know when
in this episode.
No, Perrin mentioned
chat said
in season 2 that his wife would always get really excited when Padden Fane came to town.
Yeah.
But that's probably true for all of the Two Rivers people because they weren't super used to having peddlers there. So, like,
Winespring, we've reached her.
No, I mean, I know all the arguments for and against. Okay, it's my headcanon. Yeah. So,
remember the good old days from season 1 when our biggest shock was the weird relationships? And now we have beloved characters passing away.
Oh gosh, I know. Yeah, that was such a shock. Okay, so Loial, we're keeping our eyes on her, but we like.
I like her though. Like, I think she's been a great addition. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I love her too. So far, she's been great. It's kind of like, there's so many characters that, like, whether they're like good guys or bad guys, and some of them we're not sure yet. Like that have been introduced in this series, like. Take Elida, for example. I haven't asked you about Elida yet, but by the red sister played by Shore Agdashlu, and you're an Expanse watcher, right? So were you a fan?
Yeah, I was really excited to see her, and I really like her. So whether she's good or bad, like, I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
I could see it going either way. I kind of feel like she's gonna end up good. Yeah. Not necessarily a dark friend. That's not
okay, we will log that as your official prediction.
Log that.
I love that. Okay, so Winespring Tab, do you have any questions for her?
I do.
Okay,
I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so Meredith, you've mentioned a few things I would love to ask you about. First of all, Loial, he, dies kind of suddenly. You maybe predicted it a little bit. Is that right?
I wasn't shocked.
You weren't shocked. Okay, I was a little shocked. I was a little shocked. Do you think, because this is a very leading question, we've had a lot of kind of like jump scares where it seems like people and characters have died and they're not actually dead. Do you think that could be happening here with Loial since he's such a beloved character?
Well, I watch Kritter's Instagrams, so
that there's
spoil. Or I don't need to say it.
He's out there spoiling in the background.
Right?
I give spoiler warnings, okay? Spoiler warnings. I just posted that today.
Handing out spoilers like candy on Halloween.
But it was more of a
she threw you under the bus, too.
No. Actually, this one wasn't a spoiler. Okay, this one wasn't a spoiler.
Theory.
This one is a theory because of the music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So no, like it's not a secret that the music that played when Loial fell seemingly to his death was the same music that played after Matt blew the horn and the Heroes of the Horn showed up. Okay. Okay.
Hints are fun.
No big
Okay.
spoilers. So, do you think?
I'll say in season 1, I thought Loial died when.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all
know.
did.
Yeah.
I didn't remember like when I realized he didn't die. Like, did we see him survive that battle, or did we kind of just see him?
He
We
was
saw
just
him
alive the
stabbied.
next season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
stabbied, and then he
that's
was
what I
there.
thought. Okay.
No.
So I thought I had to grieve him twice already. So maybe he'll come back.
Someone brought up a good point. I actually was able to catch some streams earlier today, and somebody brought up a good point, and they said, I think it was Matt Stagger, and said that everyone stabbed by the Shadar Goth dagger is now dead.
Oh.
Ingtar, Loial,
Not true.
and Uno.
Rand.
Well, true, but Rand had, plot armor.
I guess that's true. He did.
Plot armor.
Yes, he had plot armor.
Okay, so Meredith was mildly spoiled by my theory on Instagram. Winespring, did you have other questions for her?
I did. Okay, the other one is you mentioned you liked all of the storylines that are happening, but what is your absolute favorite if you had to choose one?
Ooh.
And why is that your favorite?
And just to refresh, I'm sure you know them all. Tanchico with Elaine and the Hills, the White Tower with Shore and Swan, the Waste, and Two Rivers.
I guess my least favorite and would just have to be the White Tower right now, because I'm not as attached to the characters there as in all the other ones.
If you could.
Oh, my least favorite would be the White Tower. My favorite is, I feel like it's between, I think it's the Ruidian stuff, like the stuff with Rand.
For sure.
Okay.
It's just very exciting, but like I said earlier, I love all the Two Rivers people, so that's been really fun. I love anytime. Oh, the Tanchico stuff is so good too, though. But yeah, I'll stick with my initial answer. The stuff that's going on in the Waste.
Nice.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay.
I mean, I have to agree. It's very interesting.
So hopefully we'll be getting some more of that next episode.
Okay, last one, and then I'll submit. So do you? Okay, next episode. Someone has to die, hypothetically.
Ooh.
Which character do you choose to die?
That I want to die, or do I think is gonna die?
Oh, why did you do that? I don't know. Both.
Why would you want somebody to? I mean, yeah, actually, that's kind of juicy. That's kind of juicy.
Yeah, it's a good discussion.
I like.
I thought she was like, you have to.
I'm just
choose
waiting.
someone.
I'm waiting.
I feel I really don't want this character to die, but I wonder if we're gonna see the end of Lanfear, because I don't know. She's been really scheming, and I don't think Rand is happy with it. And I don't know what's gonna happen, but it felt like the last time we saw Rand, he kind of went a little crazy, and I don't know if he has the power to kill her, but I think she was behind what ended up happening at the end of that episode, right? She said, "I'm going to send him something," and it resulted in him accidentally, leading to the death of the little girl. And I think she's maybe misstepped. I worry, but I love her. I love her and hate her. So I don't want her to. But that's kind of
Okay.
Ooh.
So don't. Okay. Was that your? Is there anyone you want to die?
No. No.
Not yet.
The number one character I wanted to die died in this episode in the most
Valda
satisfying way. That was my honestly maybe my favorite part of that episode. I literally was like, yes, because since we met him, I've been wanting to die, and I feel like he has 9 lives. I keep thinking he dies too, and then he just shows back up, and he is the most vile character, and so that was extremely satisfying. And so the person I want to die has.
Yeah, he is the juiciest vile character ever, because man, that acting is so incredible for Valda. I have a question, and this is a question that we've asked everyone. Actually, it just came up. one day with one of our other show-only guests, and now it's a thing that we have to ask, and we haven't asked you. So, be completely honest and tell us, how do you feel about Rand?
Oh.
Like, over the course of the series, what are your feelings?
He's not like my favorite character. He's fine.
Okay.
I appreciate him. I don't know. He's just like, he's kind of like that angsty. Like, I knew he was the Dragon Reborn because at the beginning, because of his angsty attitude. I was like, this is like the Harry Potter of this story. Like,
okay.
I am redeemed.
Yeah.
I called him Order of the Phoenix Harry. That's what I called him.
So funny.
Angsty Harry.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still like him, and I'm still like rooting for him. But you know, I don't know. I like Rand. I think I'm a little salty on him
because
like,
of his conversation with Egwene.
Yeah, I love Egwene. I wish
I'm
that
with you. Yeah.
I kind of wish that they would just like go their separate ways at this point. I don't know.
Seems like they're going to.
Yeah.
After that last convo.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I can't believe she put him in that spot.
Wow, Tavern.
Yeah. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
6, is it 6 now? Like those 6 main characters who are around the same age, or is it 5?
5
plus Elaine.
Plus Elaine, so 6.
Well, yeah, 6. Yeah.
He's my least favorite character of the 6 of them, I think.
Okay.
That's on par with everybody else so far. That's
if it's not too much to ask, can you rate them?
Yay. Ooh. Okay.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Okay.
So we've got Yosha at the bottom.
It changes a lot. I feel like it really changes a lot. Right now, I'm really loving Matt. Like, I just really like him when
he's
whenever
hilarious.
he's in an episode. Yeah. So right now, I'll say Matt 1. I'll go Egwene 2, Nynaeve 3, Elaine 4, Perrin 5, Rand 6.
Okay.
I just and it changes a lot.
So even though you came out of this
they're
past
all very
episode,
high.
okay.
I love Perrin, but I just love all the gals. Anytime
Amen.
they're on screen,
all right.
But Matt is just a great comedic relief, you know.
Oh my God, he's been great this season.
So I really appreciate that about him.
So now that I feel like Matt, the actor who's playing Matt Donalfin, he's finally had some material to work with, right? Because season 2, he was very angsty for a lot of it. He got a few good moments, but like for the most part, he didn't have a ton to do. This season, he's actually had some stuff to do. And to me, like, as you said, huge comedic relief.
Yeah.
So do you like him as Matt now better than the original actor? Do you think they're about the same, or like, where are you at with that?
I like him better than the original actor now. I think it's always difficult to make a switch like that, and I liked Matt the first season, but he was probably he might have been my least favorite then, because
in the first season,
like he just like I felt like he was always screwing things up, and I was like, I can't trust him because he's dumb. Like, dude, he's making dumb choices.
He's dumb.
And he's so dark. Like that character, that actor played him like dark. I don't know.
He was a bit more morose. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but then it's always hard to see a new face. But I liked him pretty quickly into season 2, and now I'm like totally sold. I think he's great.
All right, real quick. Well, this might not be quick. I don't know. Is there any ship that you would like to see set sail that you haven't seen happen?
Like relationship?
Yeah. See, I'm hip. I said ship.
Super hip.
That's what the kids say.
That's a good question. I like all the ships. I don't know.
But there's not one that you personally want to see? No wrong answers.
No, I know. I'm just like, it's a struggle because I really like the relationships I have seen.
Thanks, Wednesday.
The only one I don't that I'd like to like I don't know, maybe take a break as like Rand and Egwene. Everyone else I'm kind of into, but I can't think of who would be a better fit for Egwene.
Okay.
Maybe we haven't met him or her. At first I thought Perrin and Egwene maybe, because I feel like they were hinting in the first
They
season.
look like it, yeah.
Yeah, Perrin liked her, but I'm really digging Fael Perrin. So
Very nice.
What about another person for Rand?
I thought maybe Lanfear.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. That's kind of who he's with.
Yeah.
Okay, Lanfear. I guess the question with that is, can he fix her?
Right.
Can he fix her?
Yes, we can. Wait, that's a different show.
Meredith has hope that Rand can fix Lanfear. You know what? I love that because we saw her like her old self in episode 4, and I feel like Rand is really like latching on to that. Like he's very excited about the fact that one time Lanfear was nice.
Yeah, and I believe her a little bit that she's like wants to change, but I don't know. Maybe she's just saying those things because that's what Rand wants to hear. But
oh my gosh,
what I want to hear too.
Lanfear's Bow has been a member for 21 months. Thank you so much. He says, Rand hate on this channel, rethinking my viewing. No Rand hate. Let me just say right here, Yosha Stradowski. Sorry, Yosha Stradowski. I've actually learned that I've been pronouncing it wrong my whole life, so I apologize for that. Yosha Stradowski is an incredible actor, and I feel like we just now realized that this season, like in its full potential. Would you agree with that, Meredith? Are you vibing with the
and
actor?
also I will say no Rand hate. I was just asked to rank, and every character is do good. And
they're all.
I will say Rand is. I love looking at Rand. He's a hottie.
There was some screamy no's when you said Lanfear. For Rand, there was some trauma happening in chat. I don't know what was going on.
I know we're not talking about episode 4, but I have to talk because we're talking about how fine Rand is. My favorite look of his was whenever he was receiving the orb from that Aes Sedai.
Supermodel Rand?
Supermodel Rand, the gelled hair, the leather vest, like my word. Big fan of that one.
Yeah, I loved that. I loved Gay Rand. That was.
Oh yeah.
That was awesome.
Well, that is Gay Rand.
Yeah, same one.
Yeah.
What does that say about me that I like?
What was her name?
Gay Rand the best.
What was his name? It was Roderick. No, not Roderick. Was it Roderick?
I don't remember. I'd have to look it up.
Potentially.
It was a weird name.
Okay, gosh, we keep straying away from the main episode, but I'm loving all of this stuff from Meredith, so I can't help it. Oh, I was told. Oh no, Whitespring, you go.
Okay, so we got a character back that we haven't seen since he kind of fell in an attack. Aram, the Tinker, who arrives with Ela, or the Tuatha.
The Leaf people?
The way the Leaf
Yes, the way the Leaf people. And then we find out Rain has died in an attack with the Trollocs, and just kind of want to hear your thoughts on this plot line and kind of what we get in this episode with them.
Have we not seen them since season 1?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, because I couldn't remember who the person who died was. I remember the mother, or Isla. Really, that actress is familiar to me. So like I remember her when she came back. But I don't know who died. So I didn't feel emotional about that. And I felt very what's the guy's name?
Aram.
Aram.
Or Aram.
I really liked when they joined. I thought that was really fun, especially after seeing like that the Aiel people used to be people of the Leaf, or I don't know if they're people of the Leaf or just nonviolent people.
No, they're the same.
The same. So that was cool to like see them again, because like I remembered, when Perrin was with them in the first season, but I don't think we'd seen them in a while. So it was fun to have them there, and then sad that he had to do what he had to do, but very understandable that he protected the baby. It was just like an instinct, and I think it's very fair I think there should be an exception.
That's what I said. That's
like
exactly what I said.
Is about to kill you and baby, but I liked that he has a place to stay. Like they need a blacksmith, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Since we're talking about Aram, however we're pronouncing it, Aram and Isla, I think the biggest insult to them on the episode was given stew that had meat in it, but the bits were taken out, knowing that they don't eat meat, and I thought that was just horrific.
That the meat had been picked out.
Yeah. They took the
thought that
bits
was
out, and they just
hilarious.
kind of looked at each other, and I was like, "Oh, that's just wrong."
That was. I thought that was
I
really.
thought
It was
Nice.
hilarious. but it-
nice. Like they didn't understand.
She did nothing wrong.
she
She's
did
trying to
nothing
be
wrong.
accommodating.
If anything, Aaron was way more hospitable in his response to her than Hila
He was.
What did he say? He said thank
He
you.
was gonna,
right?
like,
He was
thank
gonna
you,
eat
he
it.
was gonna eat it.
They hadn't eaten
Yeah.
it.
Wait, okay, I misinterpreted that scene then, because she gave the bowl to
Oh.
Isla and was
No,
like,
to both of them.
I know that he was eating,
okay.
but she gave the bowl to Isla and was like, I know you don't eat meat, so I picked the pieces out. And Aram already had his bowl, so I thought his had meat in it, and he was just eating it, and she gave him the stink eye. But maybe I'm wrong. I could
No,
been...
I think he had just picked up his bowl when she gave him the stink eye, and he put it
Okay.
down, and he was not happy about having to put that bowl down.
Okay, that's on me. I
Yeah.
misinterpreted that scene then. My B. All right, so
Justice for vegetarians.
I'm a vegetarian. I would have eaten it. Like,
Listen, I'm
Yeah,
a meat
like-
and potatosaurus, and I felt bad for the herbisadsaurus.
I guess I'm since we're all weighing in here, in my
Yeah.
mind I was like, well, I mean, they, it's wartime, and they're guests, and
Yep.
they are new arrivals, kind of like refugees. So the
Thank
fact
you.
that Marin
Yes.
Elvire took them into account, even though they probably had like a big stew for everybody, I would have eaten it too, because it's like literally
Absolutely.
refusing it is to waste.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
they
didn't
don't know
think
what to do. Yeah.
I really didn't think too much about like, oh yeah, they definitely don't eat beef broth. Like,
Right.
but I'm sure now that you mention it, they don't. because-
Well, they mentioned it in season. It's a season 1 thing when Perrin was going on and on about it at the bar in Faldara. And they kept out. They don't eat meat, and Rand was asking all the questions. It was just hilarious. It was a good throwback to that. It was pretty good.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the Tinkers. So somebody in the chat way earlier, I apologize, I can't remember who it was, asked how you're feeling about the Whitecloaks right now. Annoyed
yeah.
with Dane.
Dane and
Do you
Lou, I think.
Do you think Dane's reaction to Perrin has been understandable? Where are we at with the Whitecloaks?
I hate them. I always have. I didn't even really like him ever. Like I get like, okay, so my recollection is he released Perrin in season 2, right? Is that why he's good? Dane?
No, so he when Avienda was in the cage, who he helped
Right.
cage her,
Right.
he gave her water. Like he wasn't supposed to like give her anything, and he gave her water. And then he
So
met...
he didn't do anything helpful to Perrin.
No.
He just talked to him. He
Perrin
didn't-
let
yeah.
him live after
Right.
the confrontation because he's like, you're a good person. No, Avienda was the one who was going to kill him, and Perrin was like, he
Yeah.
gave you water, and so then they bailed.
Yeah, I couldn't care. Like I just like all the Whitecloaks. Anytime I see them, I'm worried. I just don't like them, and I have no sympathy for them.
Okay, yeah. So how are you feeling about what's going to happen next with Perrin now that he's surrendered?
Ugh, I don't know. He's gonna make it out, but I don't know how. I'm not too worried because he's done it before. Like he got out. Him and Egwene were
Yeah.
to them, but that was different because this time he like surrendered and he knows that he did kill someone and wants to like answer for that. So it is slightly different than just like being captured for no reason.
Yeah.
So I'm nervous for him.
Winespring, your question?
Did you anticipate Dane going through with the deal, or did you think maybe because he showed up to fight that was going to fall through and they were all going to be like buddy
Jane
buddy
going
now?
through the deal, like coming
to get
over?
him to get Perrin? Yeah.
I didn't really because I just like I don't think I like understood what happened with the Whitecloaks showing up as going through with his side of the deal. Like he brought
Same.
the Trollocs.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I didn't.
And
get
Dark
that way.
So I thought that they came because they were facing Trollocs too. But then I realized that they didn't have to face the Trollocs because, like in his head, he came through because, they weren't in trouble. But in my head, they came because they were in trouble. But that ended up not being true. Like the Trollocs were not harassing them at that point. And so, yeah, I don't think that, I don't know, were they helpful? They weren't helpful. They
were harmful, probably.
Yeah, they were harmful.
Were they helpful?
Yeah, so
It's a hell of a Yelp review right there.
Jose Oliver is asking if medieval law is different for Perrin because he's a lord of the Two Rivers, and I would say that I don't think he counts as a lord of the Two Rivers because Morghese hasn't, because they are technically citizens of Andor. Morghese hasn't, officially dubbed him anything. So, yeah. Oh, I have to bring this up because it made me laugh earlier. I think Knuckles Mustache in the chat said, based on Rand, the particularly hot version of Rand, who was gay, that scientifically, apparently, being gay makes you hotter. So, I guess I need to rethink my life. It's fine. Okay, so...
or Rand needs to rethink his.
Oh, good point. Good point there.
Well, Megan's got a good point in the chat, and she says, "I assume Pat," which is something I didn't think about. I assume Pat and Fane pushed Dane to help
to get him in there.
Oh, yeah, which would have got him in the door. That's a really good catch. Megan, she's got some good ideas sometimes.
Megan,
I guess what
she's all right.
We'll
keep her around.
Okay. Oh my gosh, not all who wonder are lost. Once at a restaurant, when I asked whether there was meat in something, I was considering ordering. I was told, no meat, just a little pork for flavor.
Oh yeah. I have family that will offer me turkey sandwiches as if it's not me.
Okay, we've had this conversation before, right? Because you know what, and it's Lent, so it's the perfect time to talk about this.
Oh yes, yeah.
Meredith, and we've probably talked about this also. Do you consider fish meat?
I think that if you say you're a vegetarian, I assume you don't eat fish. I think
so. Fish is meat.
Yeah,
you're
I think
actually a pescatarian.
You're a pescatarian. I think you should clarify.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay, I retract earlier. I technically am a pescatarian.
That's okay. You don't have to apologize.
Sometimes.
By the end of the episode, Winespring's eating all kinds of stuff.
Okay?
By the end of the episode, she's going to admit to eating all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my steak.
Anyways, my I say this because during Lent I've had this conversation with my parents, my dad especially, where I was like, they say that we don't eat meat on Fridays, and I was like, well, we eat fish though, so yes we do, and my dad was like, fish isn't meat, and I was like,
what is it?
It's
like he just
meat.
says
he says fish is its own thing. It's fish.
Does fish graze? No.
Okay, but
does it have eyes?
Not all meat grazes.
Does it have eyes? What does that have to do with it being meat?
It's meat. Just that's an easy way to clarify to me.
If it has eyes,
that's interesting. That's actually.
I also know people who will be like, I don't eat meat, but then they eat chicken and turkey. So they don't.
No, that is definitely meat.
Toyotarian, actually, is
no
the term of art
one.
for that. Fish is meat because the sea is soup. Interesting, Jose Oliveira.
The sea is soup.
I love soup.
I love fish.
Joe White says fish moves too much to be vegetables and it's too big to be bacteria. So it's meat.
Can I tell a side story real quick? I'll make it
Absolutely.
short. It's from The Travelers. I just watched an episode of it. Hopefully some people have seen it. One of the people is about to eat a burger because it has ground meat in it. And so they're thinking it's from the ground. Not like ground up meat. It was really well played.
Okay.
So sorry, a little side note if anyone's watched it yet. Check it out. It's funny.
Hashtag meat and tater cyrus.
So you mentioned, Meredith, that you like
Back to the
Alana and Maxim. So earlier in the season, we lost Ivan. Did that hit pretty hard for you?
Yeah, that was sad. I always really liked the three of them. I thought they're fun. I don't know. Anytime they're on screen, I love them. And then in that battle, I was worried for them. I'm always mostly worried for Alana because I don't know. I just really like her. And, she died. That would obviously deeply impact everyone. And so then seeing Ivan died, that was very devastating. And I knew it would be hard for them. But it's been really interesting to see, I feel like we didn't get much about the depth of their relationship, as a threesome as we've gotten since he's died. And so that's been kind of cool to see, and to see her and Maxim kind of figure it out, where do we go from here? And them, I thought that was really sweet of them, exploring intimacy, just the two of them, and what that meant. And so I've loved seeing them together this season, and sad about Ivan, but I feel I understand them more now. Watching them grieve. So I'm not I was really sad that it happened, but I think it was not made sense for the plot. And I know you said that my take was controversial earlier. Are people?
No, it wasn't that your take was controversial. It's because I too have enjoyed the whole Maxim Alana thing. There was just a lot of I wouldn't say uproar, but there was a lot of chatter in the community about certain characters getting a lot of screen time, right? Like what people would consider secondary characters getting screen time. I don't see it that way. And I know that show only people that I've talked to don't see it that way because they don't know any different, right? They're just characters on the show. But yeah, I love.
She's one of my favorite of the of the Aes Sedai that we've met.
Yeah.
Anytime she's there, I love her.
And they've established that her and her warders are literally one entity from the very beginning. So anything that has to deal with her instantly, to me, is going to have her warders as part of that storyline. And I think they've done an outstanding job. I personally think they treat death very nonchalantly on Wheel of Time in this series. Like it's willy-nilly. Like they kill off everybody all the time. I mean, how many times did we see Moraine die in the Visions? And actually, how many times did we see Moraine die in season 1 and 2? Like she's getting stabbed through the throat. There's all kinds of stuff happening.
But she never dies.
She never died.
No. But what I'm saying is they tend to shock us with a death or a seeming death. And then, we have Loial back. We have Nynaeve, miraculously coming back from sleep in season 1. We had all of this stuff. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that Loial's death in this was the first time that I actually got upset, not because he died, but because I was so engrossed and so immersed in the battle for the Two Rivers, right? And then the battle at the Waygate and all of that was going on. It was great. And then that whole thing to me was like, wait, why? What happened? And now I was that was it. I was pulled out of the episode for me. It actually pissed me off that they did that because I couldn't get back into the fight. I mean, did you have a similar experience with any of the deaths that happened on the show or in the episode?
I don't think it anything pulled me out. It all kind of felt like a cohesive episode to me, but maybe that's, I don't know. I guess because if you've read all the books and you were not expecting him to die, I could totally see how that would pull you out of it. I would be pissed. But for me, it was just I'm just along for the ride. We're going to laugh a lot. We're going to cry. We're going to, it's
make out in the attic.
I can see where it makes great. I mean, I saw that. I analyzed it afterwards and I was like, it's great TV show, stuff. It's just personally, it was the first time that I've actually been just like the light switch just came on in the room and I was like, oh crap, you just
have to rewatch now that you know that it's coming.
I've seen it 4 times.
Oh, you have? Oh yeah, I remember you.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, we didn't. Okay, so really quickly, I have to say, Diogeno in the chat, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Isla giving the same side eye for the meat stew and her son killing the Trolloc is wild.
Oh,
agreed. And shout out to Marin Alvear for being the MVP. Amen. And this made me laugh.
Yes.
MJ Daniel says, I was waiting for Loial to say, "You shall not pass." Which,
well done.
That was true.
I also
Excellent quoting there.
Dataluhu earlier asked how you were feeling about the channeling in this season.
I thought it was awesome. Or at least the thing that comes to mind first is the Alana's icicles.
Ooh, yes.
Ice spikes.
Yeah, so I think the girls ask her oh, can you throw lightning bolts? And that's, I guess, what we've sort of seen from Moraine. And I didn't realize, and maybe this is how it is, does she just have a different type of channeling power? Can she throw lightning bolts, or is her thing weather?
Oh,
That's
is it custom to each person? Is that what you're asking?
To the person or the color Ajah?
Yeah, of the Ajah. That's an interesting question.
So when she didn't really answer about throwing lightning bolts, and then she threw these icicles.
Those were cool.
I was like, that was sick. That was awesome.
It's like hail, but they're slaying, so we'll call it slail. She fired slail.
Slail, yeah. Just glass. It was really just shards of glass from the sky.
Yeah, it was
that
amazing.
was awesome.
That was pretty lit. That was
I
pretty
knew,
lit.
I had anticipated that the girls were the ones who could channel, and like, I don't know, seeing them all work together was cool.
Mhm.
Other channeling in the season.
Like, for example, whenever we were texting, I
the
remember you
season.
mentioned the first episode, and somebody had told you about how wild it, like the fight in the first
Yes.
episode. That was a lot of channeling all at once.
Yeah, crazy. Lots of bodies being sliced in half.
Yeah,
that was crazy. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was like such a great first 15 minutes of a show. Like, that was just wild. I was like, oh, we are jumping right into this.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like the channeling. I wish that we could see Nynaeve channel. I know that she's been struggling. It's cool to see Rand's different type of channeling. Like, his looks very dark, and that's kind of cool. The way they have, the way that they show it all, I think has been pretty cool.
Was Alana's Hale stuff? Was that the first time that we've seen like such a patterned weave? Because her weave was very distinct. It was almost geometric, almost as she was
the
casting
Forsaken in the past, whenever they like open the gateways, has been very like structured.
Oh.
And also
that's
the
true.
Moraine opening the way gate also
and
had a lot of
Latra in episode 4 was
that
very,
was very specific.
Gosh.
Yeah, that was very specific.
Which one's Latra?
She was the old lady with the white marble ball
who
the
created
Meridian.
the glass columns in Meridian.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't think I picked up on the geometry of the weaves.
Yeah,
I'm a
question.
listen.
I'm gonna pay attention.
I'm a total nerd, so I look at stuff that nobody else looks at.
It's true.
Did it seem related to like
it is true. It's
weave
not wrong.
through?
Huh?
Like, did they look like icicle? Like, did it seem related at all?
No, it was like
it was like a circular.
And then it like fireworked out. I don't know. It was cool.
Yeah, it was closer to the actual cyclical storm in the sky than it was to the ice shards.
Yeah.
They had a circular nature, but that was about as close as they got.
That's honestly an interesting observation, though, because we have seen her now channel for the weather multiple times.
Yeah,
and like
she did the fog.
She did the fog. Yeah. So maybe she's got a knack for weather stuff.
Yeah.
Before I forget, I want to say thank you to Joe White, $5 super chat. Loial's death fuzzed my brain till the end. Had to rewatch, so it sounds like you and Tavern were on the same page for that episode.
Thank you.
Or for that part.
That's 2 thank yous I've given out.
Finns says Alana has always been very earth and water oriented in all of her weaves from season 1.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's interesting.
That is true. She had the eruption of the ground thing,
and Meredith,
What is a green Ajah again? What's there?
That was exactly you caught on to this transition that I was making. So the green Ajah is the battle Ajah. So they're focused on preparing for the last battle. That's kind of like why her coming to the Two Rivers makes sense, right? Because she was sensing that there's some people who might be able to do some things in the last battle effectively, and by golly, it looks like she's kind of right. So Winespring always asks this, so I'm gonna steal her thunder here because I'm on the path. But I feel like we probably asked you this last season, but I'm gonna follow up and ask again. What is your Ajah? And as a reminder, green is the battle Ajah. Blue is like justice and causes, like they pursue like causes, and they have a really good eyes and ears network, so they're kind of like spies-ish. Yellow is the healing Ajah, they heal. White is logic based essentially. Brown is like the studious research history focused Ajah. Red is the Ajah that chases men who can channel. Basically they try to stop all abuses of the one power. Gray is like the diplomatic Ajah. They like think of like negotiating treaties, being advisors to royalty, stuff like that. And I stopped counting. So
I think that's all of them.
Okay, great.
You got it. Yeah,
Great.
You're good.
And black. No, just kidding.
Oh,
She did not just say that.
That's the Ajah of the new orange.
Actually, Meredith, you'll appreciate this. We kind of confirmed that Erin is probably Black Ajah. She was on earlier this season. So.
Yeah, she was all about it. Actually, Max, I think, is a little on the dark side.
He's like yellow and black.
Yeah, he's.
Oh, is that another guest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So for you though.
Oh.
Little on the dark.
He's a little on the dark side.
What can you say? White and gray again.
Yeah. So Way is like Gray is like the diplomatic treaty negotiation advisors to royalty type people, and White is like logic and Winespring. You're White. Like, how else would you describe them?
Yeah, white philosophy, maybe.
Yeah, philosophy. That's right. Philosophy and logic. Yeah.
Logic and philosophy. Yep.
I think maybe blue.
Hell
Go
yeah.
blue.
Team blue for life. Me too.
Wow.
Are you blue?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm blue.
Oh,
100%.
she's definitely blue. Yes.
Yay, Team blue. Amazing.
What are you, Tavern again? If you had to choose
I
an
am-
Ajah, I know like
He's
border.
Ashaman.
like-
Or no, spoilers. Just kidding.
Well,
LL.
green.
I didn't say anything.
I mean, if I had to be an Ajah, it would be green, but
That
I
makes
would
sense.
probably want to be yellow as well.
Love that. Love
Me
that.
too. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what the, if they end up becoming full Aes Sedai, like what Elaine, Egwene, and Nynaeve are.
If you had to
Yeah.
guess at this point, what would you say they'll be?
Good question.
I feel like
Very
Nynaeve
good.
would be yellow, maybe, because she's.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Egwene would probably be. I think she's either going to be red or green.
Red.
You go either way.
Interesting.
Go
Maybe
Wow.
Elaine
either
is
way.
blue.
Okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
Wait, who was blue?
Elaine.
Elaine.
Oh, Elaine was blue. Okay, nice.
What would Avienda be if she went to the White Tower?
Red? I don't know.
Just because they're
That's
so
funny.
feisty? Is that
Yeah.
like okay?
That's
Nice.
amazing.
I feel like she does. Yeah.
That was my
But I know
favorite
she has a
answer
very
yet.
different. She has a very different goal than the red Ajahs seem to
Yeah.
Mhm.
deal with Rand in a different way.
Okay. So you're seeing, like you said, Egwene red because it's like she's trying to kind of like navigate Rand's situation.
Or I
essentially.
don't know. I could just see her like without a warder and do
Okay.
Mm.
Don't need no man, basically.
Yeah.
A lot of people that agree with you, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Love that.
Okay.
All right. So we are at the 8:30 mark. So Winespring Tavern, do you have any other questions for Meredith as we sign off with her?
Winespring can go first.
Did anything in the episode make you like laugh?
Ooh.
I'm sure I laughed, but like off the top of my head, that wasn't the number one emotion I was feeling.
Has there been anything in this season that's like tickled your funny bone? If you can remember, obviously, a lot has happened.
Anything with like Matt in it, or I think Min is really funny too, and Elaine I think is also pretty funny, and all the stuff that's happened, like not all the stuff that's happened in Tenchiko, obviously, but like the stuff with them trying to be undercover has been really funny, and
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah, I think that's been the like most comedic relief.
For sure. Agreed. Okay.
Can you remember anything super funny in this episode? Because maybe I'm just misremembering.
I was thinking specifically about something about Matt. It was his sisters joking about him.
Oh,
being
that was cute.
the ladder blower.
That shit was so funny.
It was just so wholesome too. At the same time, sisters making fun of their brother. Just
I love that.
Well, I'm sure Tavern appreciated the fact that they were making fun of how the horn looks, because
my
I
God.
recall Tavern hating how the horn looks.
The horn of clean gear is safe and sound in the White Tower, and I'm leaving it alone.
Okay.
Ladder blower.
Ladder blower was good. Sheep tutor.
I loved it. Pretty good. Okay. Any other questions for Meredith before we let her go?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
She was outstanding.
So Meredith,
back,
yes,
please.
thank
Yeah,
you.
you're really
First of
fun.
all, thank you so much for being here. Everyone in the chat, they were like piggybacking off of the things that you said. We always love show only people, and your perspective in particular has been super fascinating. We always give guests the opportunity as they're signing off to give their final words, whatever you want to talk about, your favorite quote from The Lord of the Rings, your favorite Wheel of Time moment, anything you want to talk about at all. The floor is yours, and then you can leave. And we appreciate you being here.
Yeah, I guess all I'll say is I'm really excited for the finale, but also sad. This season has just been too quick. But it's been great.
Right.
So maybe I'll rewatch.
Do it.
Or maybe I won't read the books. So you guys have convinced me.
Thank you.
We love a rewatch though. Anything that boosts the numbers will help us get a renewal. So as many rewatches
I'm
as
sure
you want.
it'll be renewed.
I love that confidence. Hell yeah.
I'm confident.
Yeah.
I mean, me too. I think how could they not?
Hi,
Stevie.
Katie.
Stevie's back.
Stevie, come say goodbye.
There he is, the legend himself.
a little nicer now. All right, enjoy the rest of your talk.
Thank you, and thanks for coming
having
on.
me.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Oh man, Stevie's a cutie.
That was great.
Is cute.
That
was an
great.
outstanding interview.
Yeah,
that was
that one.
fun.
It did go really fast.
Yeah.
Jenny G, I completely agree. Lottie
All
said,
right.
"I welcome. Just logged in because of work. Appreciate you showing up, even now. And if you want to hear what Meredith had to say, you can always rewatch. This will be on my channel under live streams, and I'll put it under the Wheel and Chill flag after this.
And if you watch it again, we'll say thank you now.
Thank you for watching it again.
Like and subscribe.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Is it time?
It's time for full spoilers.
Spoilers!
Spoiler. We've got full book spoilers. Full book spoilers.
Full-
Oh my gosh.
full book
Light Blinded
spoilers.
Fool gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much,
Nice.
Light Blinded Fool.
You guys are amazing.
So if you get a gifted membership, then congratulations. You're a member now. You are incredibly generous, Light Blinded Fool. We appreciate you so much. How far into the books can we discuss in the spoiler section? That's such a good question, random person. All of them. If you haven't read all of the books, you are at risk. I apologize. It's just the best way to open up the floodgates and have a full discussion here. If you leave, we appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like the video, and once you've read all the books, feel free to come back and watch them all again.
We're going knee deep into spoilers. We're going to be wading through them.
Well, actually, I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but I just don't want to accidentally spoil anybody, so that's where we're at.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Fine.
All right. So what do we want to talk about? Winespring, thoughts?
Yeah, so I had a thought.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm trying to piece it together, so y'all help me. Okay, so from the books, we hear that there are rumors about like the Tinkers, Tuathons, like stealing children, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and so then in this episode, we get a Rom kind of challenging, like, who's going with us? What was it? I wrote it down because I was like, oh, that's interesting. But where and what people will fill their wagons? And then they have Perrin being like, hey, we'll take our kids. And Ela was like, yes, we'll take the kids. And I was like, oh, this is probably how they get reputations like that.
Yeah.
Because she's like, sure, I'll take all your kids and peace out.
Bring it on.
Thanks.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
I actually thought in the books what they meant by stealing the kids was pretty much what they did with Perrin in season 1, where they sit and they talk to them, get them curious, and then just convince them to follow them, and then people just leave town and go with them. So
Probably
I
some of
mean,
that.
yeah, I mean, probably some of that, but yeah, I just thought I did also find it funny that they were asked to get the kids out of there, and I was like, oh, they're filling their wagons. That's exactly what's happening.
I didn't even think about the whole children stealing angle, but yeah.
The funny thing. Okay, so a funny thought about this was when that happened, right after the battle, my immediate thought was, somebody needs to go get Isla and the kids and stuff, or they're just keeping them. That was the first thing that popped into my head.
Yes. These are my kids now.
Oh my God, Joe White, $20 in the chat. Thank you so much. I have cracked the code. Put Fail's chin and Leandrin's jaw in a super collider. Accelerate them until they slam together at the speed of light. Bore a hole in the pattern. Wave at the dark one. Boom. I am Lanfear. I tell you what, the casting directors of the show pick the people with the most striking, beautiful features, and Fail is no exception. And obviously we've talked about Leander and Sister Strongjaw forever. So yeah, they are. It's incredible what they've done.
Fail is top 3 of the most beautiful cast members for me.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and that's saying a lot because there's a lot of really good looking people.
And the entire cast is so hot. So that's amazing. Yeah, she's I think she has come in and just absolutely swept me away. Like I think she's incredible. She is exactly Fail. I feel like now when I read the books, that's who I'm going to picture, which is saying something because I've been reading the books for 20 years or something, like literally actually. Oh,
no,
wow.
she's made that character hers for sure. Like 100% made that character hers.
Yeah, she has.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
The character art I remember seeing of Fail looks like Fail in the show, except short hair, right?
Yes.
The only difference is the nose. I would have thought a little bit bigger nose, only because that's how they described it in the books. But she's perfect. I think she looks incredible.
She's perfect. Exactly.
That's literally. Yeah, I totally agree. Though the fan art I've seen is also like her with a slightly bigger nose. Just wild.
And her eyes are captivating. Are they green?
Ooh.
Because they're not really blue. They're almost aqua.
They're the color of Tavern. because I should be reflecting them all the time. That's all I'm saying.
Poetry.
Wow.
We're getting poetry from Tavern.
That wasn't really poetry. It was more like just please take me away from here. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
I'm kidding.
MJ Daniel, major hotness all around. It's really true. It's really true. Dana Luhu, from the moment I saw Fail with her bow in the trailer, she's captivated me. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, speaking of Fail, Meredith's not sure if she trusts her because, like, you know,
yeah.
that would be such a Game of Thrones twist that Fail was like cozying up to Perrin only to find out where the horn is and then go kill Matt so she could take it.
Well,
It's
did
kind
you
of
see?
fantastic.
Okay, so
Pretty
you know,
fantastic.
you know how I've talked about this several times, where we don't know who came through the Waygate. Everybody thinks it's Alana and Maxim,
Yes.
right? So my three couples were Alana and Maxim, Fail and Luke, and then Fane and Cheyenne was added this episode because that Cheyenne was the female captain of the Dark Friends or whatever.
Oh yes.
So we have them because they were bringing Trollocs into the Two Rivers for a while. So now there's three, and I don't know which ones who actually came through the Waygate at the time, and I don't know if we're ever going to find out now that it's gone. But did you see the look that passed between Fael and Luke when Luke showed up with Dane?
I thought it was kind of
end.
like not friendly.
It was not. It was like it was like they took opposite sides to something, which leads me to believe that maybe they were in cahoots with something originally that was nefarious of nature. So we've been sitting here going, oh, Layla was a dark friend. Oh, Fael is so great. What if Fael is a dark friend?
No.
Downvote. I'm going to
Just
downvote
no.
that one.
Downvoting that one. Yeah,
Downvote that one. 100%.
You're outvoted this time.
No, okay, but on a serious note, the look they did pass between each other was something that I was not expecting. And it was something that I noticed because it was just so out of place.
Okay. Interesting. So speaking of dark friends, thank you, Romano, with the €5 in the chat. I think Rima is actually Semiraj
Somebody's mentioned that
in
before.
disguise, and it will come out in the last episode when Shanshan attacked the tower, and the real Rima is a Damani. So I don't think that's going to happen this season.
No, that'd be tough. We got so much stuff to go.
Because also we need Egwene to be there for that, because that's Egwene's moment. That's her shining.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
she's got multiple shining moments, but that one's way up
unless
there.
we get and again, you know me, I like to play with theories. Unless we get some kind of connection at the end of this season between a Semiraj character and Alviarin, like an introduction, like what we got with Moggy at the end of season 2, where he's got her for
if she reveals herself to be oh, that could be cool. That could be cool. Because we're in full spoilers mode here, guys. Alviarin is Black Ajah, and she is on IMDb for being in next episode. So do we think the tower coup is happening next episode?
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna go spoilers because I can't talk about it because I saw the preview for the next episode, so I have inside information that you probably don't. So I don't want to
haven't either.
say anything.
I appreciate
It's been more fun not watching.
It's been so fun. The only reason I was going to possibly watch the preview is because it's good for content. Like I was going to do a reaction because like we're almost longing, the more content, the better for the moment. But I don't know if I'm going to have time. So I might
even like the screenshots of it I've seen online.
No, Megan.
I don't want to see it.
I know, same. I've seen one screenshot over and over again, and I'm trying. I'm like the moment I see it, I close my eyes. So
all right,
I only know this will be
they
very
have
brief.
not seen the preview, so let's just stay out of that.
So it's technically not full spoilers.
Yeah, it's mediocre spoilers.
Sorry, full book spoilers. I'm gonna avert my eyes on the chat for like 30 more seconds. So I don't get spoiled on stuff.
What else, man?
But Tower Coop, that would be interesting for like the bookend type writing.
Oh, from the beginning.
Show like it starts at that and ends at it. Yeah. So I mean,
well,
it could be
and
cool.
the fact, and I'm just predicting that it's happening because Alviarin is in the episode, so is Elida, given on the IMDb. I've been spoiled to that extent.
Yes. Thanks, Tavern.
Yeah.
So they're okay. I know we talked about how fast the season's gone by,
Yes.
but at the same time, when I think about the very first cold open, right? The
Mm-hmm.
battle at the White Tower. It feels like so freaking long ago in the sense of the
They've
show.
covered a lot of ground.
They have covered, and to
Yeah.
me, that's amazing that
Yes.
they've managed to pull that off, because we needed the time to feel like it's stretched out, but they're also trying to pack so much stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Somebody in my
and speed
TikTok
everything up.
comments was like, "Why are they only doing 8 episodes? It's so boring." And I was like, "Those two things don't go together."
No.
We have a
8 episodes makes it
What?
compressed. It's a
Yeah.
accordion.
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
an accordion
you have a
situation.
super chat, Critter, that
I
had
know.
a question for
I
us.
know.
and
I was
don't-
going to finish
yeah.
this thread.
No,
but
you're good.
so-
Sorry.
Okay, so Daisy Duarte, thank you for the $10 super chat. Show only here. Can you guys briefly explain the Battle of the Two Rivers in the books? I like spoilers. Hate that Loial is dead. I used to complain there was not enough deaths in the show, but not Loial. I feel ya.
Wow.
It's
I
a
feel
lot.
Okay, so we can all piggyback off of each other here.
Okay.
Perrin shows back up to the Two Rivers with Fail because he met Fail elsewhere. He actually met
Right.
Fail way earlier in the books.
Yep.
And they were traveling together for quite some time. Him, Bane and Chiad, who are friends with Fail going into this, and an Aiel that's not in the show named Gaul. Perrin and Gaul are like this. And Loial is the one who takes them.
Drink for Gall in the chat.
Yeah, just like R.I.P. to Gaul. Well, maybe he'll show up, but he's not here yet. So they come through the Waygate, and it turns out that there's Whitecloaks in the Two Rivers region, and they're being a little sus. Fane is in the Two Rivers also, and he has actually gotten in with the Whitecloaks, much like he does in the show, but he has, spoilers, murdered Perrin's entire family.
Yeah.
So Perrin finds that out. It guts him completely. Fail is there to help him. He like fully mourns. He breaks down in the middle of the Winespring Inn, etc. Let's see. The some of the Two Rivers folks have been captured by the Whitecloaks, and Perrin, and it's not like Tam and Bran. Bran's dad and Bran are off in the woods, along with Alana
Hiding.
and Varen and their warders. They're hiding because of the Whitecloak situation. So Perrin interfaces with them, and they stage a rescue to some of the Two Rivers folks that are captured by the Whitecloaks.
Isn't that the moment where, because I do believe they get help from Alana at that point, and I think that's where one of her warders gets killed, or did that happen before? Because she loses one of her warders in the Two Rivers.
Does she?
And I think it
remember.
was in a skirmish with the Whitecloaks before the rescue.
I can't remember.
So
when
I
she
think she's in
loses.
full mourning at that point.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So Alana and Varen do so they do the rescue, and then they stage this this massive like storm. So they wrestle the Aes Sedai wrestle up this massive storms to give them cover to escape from the Whitecloaks, and they do. But as they're working their way back to Eamon's Field, which is actually the name of the town that the Two Rivers 5 is from, they start skirmishing with a bunch of Trollocs. And the Trollocs are just like swarming the woods, essentially. And they're gathering more and more Two Rivers folk to their little mini army. And it's amazing until Lord Luke, who hasn't been much of a thing in the show, but he is a thing in the books, a big thing in the books,
Huge.
stages an ambush, and Perrin gets like deathly injured. Like he is super, super injured. And they're not sure what's going to happen. And he ends up taking refuge in the Tinker's like caravan, right? And Fail's like nursing him back to health while they're in the Tinker's caravan. Gosh, there's so many things. He makes it, right, barely, and then he eventually gets back to the Two Rivers,
Bringing the Tinkers with him.
bringing the Tinkers with him for safety. And then eventually they start building up the defenses of the Two Rivers with Tam and Bran. Bran is the mayor, Egwene's dad, and Tam
Actually,
is Bran's dad.
isn't it Tam and Abel?
You're right. It's Tam and Abel. It's not.
Yeah,
Tam and
because
Bran.
Brand
And Will Alsheen.
And Will Alcine is he's
the kid. They're the kids.
Yeah, so Perrin's got this whole troop of boys, Two Rivers lads who are his age, but he seems so much older than them now that he's got like this major life experience. And even Tam and Abel are like letting Perrin take the lead because he's really coming into his own as a leader. But he can't really fight because he's still so injured.
Yeah.
And so Perrin takes this leadership role. Eventually, the Trollocs like start kind of attacking the Two Rivers, and then there's like a full-on assault, and then they have the massive battle. And before the battle, though, I forgot this. Before the battle, Perrin and Fail get married.
Yes.
And then Perrin convinces her, well, as part of this deal that they're getting married, to leave. But he's like, we need you to
Yeah.
go get more troops from Andor or something. He's
Over
like,
there.
Way the hell out
we
there.
need you to leave. And so she's like, sure, I'll leave. So she leaves. And we're like, okay, well, at least she's going to survive, because Perrin's pretty convinced that they're all going to die. At the same time, Perrin sends Loial and Gaul to close the Waygate.
Gaul.
And yeah, R.I.P. to Gaul. So Loial and Gaul do close the Waygate. When they come back, Loial's like carrying Gaul. Yeah, they do come back. Loial doesn't die. Loial's carrying Gaul because he's super injured. And then when all hope is almost lost, like even the women of the Two Rivers have like started fighting, even though the men are like, oh my God, women shouldn't be fighting. But anyways, the women even come out and start fighting because it's like the last line of defense. All hope is almost lost. And then the horn of Gondor rings, and Fail comes down. Fail comes back to the Two Rivers with the Devon Ride people, or like people from Two Rivers, but not Eamon's
Yeah,
Field.
Devon Ride, I believe.
She's like wrangled them all in, and I've got goosebumps telling.
I do
this
too.
right now.
I'm gonna cry.
and then they literally like Helm's Deep it, and like on the third day at dawn show up and they win.
So okay, one that was an outstanding retelling. There was one thing that you did leave out, which was that the Whitecloaks showed up but refused to fight.
Yes.
So that's why the women had to freaking hold the fort down toward the end and just went in to fight with the men, because the Whitecloaks wouldn't do it. And then but yeah, that whole thing. But I'm glad you mentioned something. You mentioned Gondor, which I thought was the Horn of Gondor, which was amazing. But I was going to bring this up, and you segued completely right into it, which I love, and it has to do with what you said about Helm's Deep, because this whole battle was staged like Helm's Deep. They had the wall in the back. They had the semicircular freaking fortifications. They even yelled, Perrin even yelled at the archers, "Take him down!" Just like they did in Helm's Deep when the orc with the big bomb was running. I mean, it was almost exactly the archers on the wall up front, the whole thing. So yeah, I thought that was crazy that they basically redid Helm's Deep, which is amazing to me.
Thanks, everyone. Everyone's congratulating me in the chat, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was an incredible.
Yeah, let me add to that.
Incredible.
So while you were doing that, you did such a good job. You know how when you're reading it, you like hallucinate, almost what's happening. You picture it. Like as you're doing that, it's like I was reliving all of those moments, and it was just like, I almost wish I wasn't on camera so I could just like melt into it and listen to you doing it. It was perfectly done. Like that was really cool.
I was picturing it in my brain.
Yeah.
Like when you were saying it, I was watching the people run, and it was like, it was so good. It was so good.
Thank you. And I will
That was
say
really good.
thank you. Yes, the person who asked the question originally, this plot did take much longer in the books. It took an entire book.
Like back and forth and back and forth.
Like obviously we switched back and forth between POVs, but no, there were many skirmishes, many pre-battles, and then one big boy battle at the very end.
That's the one thing they didn't do on the show.
You yet to help with writing?
Yeah, right.
Robert George wrote that. I didn't write it.
The one thing I
Your
missed.
ability to regurgitate.
Thank you.
The one thing I missed from the battle on the show was what you mentioned, was the waves of Trolloc attacks.
Yeah.
We basically had one wave at the pass and then the attack, which I will say caught me by surprise. I will say that when they came into the Two Rivers, I was like, oh, the Whitecloaks is here, and then it dawned on me, and I was like, oh wait, isn't Fane? Shit, and there he was, and I was like, oh shit. That caught me by surprise, and I wasn't expecting it. So kudos.
There was a wedding, Daisy Duarte. There was a wedding.
Yes.
But because we just met Fail, that would have felt a little premature, I think. Especially because Perrin had another wife.
Yeah, but Perrin seems like the kind of guy that would meet someone and be like, on the third date, I'm ready to have babies.
I'm in love.
I'm in love. I know what love. I know what love is, Jenny.
Oh my god, that's so cute. Oh, I did have another thought during the episode that maybe someone will find interesting. Because Rafe mentions that he's pulling from like all different religions and like those kind of views and that kind of stuff in his rendition of this. And there is a story from the Bible that is very interesting. It's called like the Battle of Ai.
where like God sends his like people to go like rest and not fight anymore, and he throws rocks from the sky instead and wins very quickly, very easily.
Oh.
And so when it's like a 2-sentence story in like the Old Testament, and I've always found it very fascinating.
Okay.
So when this started with Alana, and then she was like throwing stones from the sky, which would be like frozen water, it was fascinating. I was like, I wonder if that's what he's pulling from, or was it just visual? But because he told us he was going to be pulling from different.
It's possible, and it was a really quick victory once she dropped.
Very quick,
instant. Oh, and by the way, we're in first place. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Oh, we are,
because of that. That scene really pushed us up a lot.
In the Wheel of Time Season 3 Fantasy League, in case you are not caught up. We are on a team, and it is called Igloo and Chill. And if you want to watch, they do live streams on the Black Tower Podcast channel on YouTube on Sundays at
5
p.m. Eastern Time.
Yep.
I have been in a consultatory role. I haven't actually been on the streams. Ta'veren has been doing a lot of that, and he's been doing amazing. But yeah.
I'm good at insulting people.
And it's Adalorna's our other.
Adalorna's also been doing great. Our team going into the Two Rivers plot was Fail, Alana, Aram, Dane, and
Fail, Alana, Aram, Dane.
No.
Oh, and Tam.
Tam. I thought there was a chance because of the Fail thing in the books. I thought there was a chance that they've been keeping Tam's return secret and that he was going to do Fail's thing, but he didn't. And I have to say, Landfierce Bow, my God, $50 super chat.
Holy
Critter,
shit,
here's your trophy.
Here's your trophy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good job.
That is insane. Thank you
amazing.
so
Incredible.
much. That's so generous. Anyways, what's funny is people have been asking me on TikTok, like, what actually happened in the books, and I just haven't put it together because I like in my mind I want to put pictures to it, and that's just a big undertaking, right? So maybe I'll just do what I just did and just like talk.
Yeah,
like if you want to watch it, you can watch it. If you don't want to watch it, that's fine.
No, it was a really good retelling. I enjoyed that a lot. So one of the things that I'm glad we didn't do now in hindsight, because we were either tossing up Tam or Fane. I'm glad we didn't get Fane because Fane didn't do shit.
He killed
so
like
what's
a
up
couple
with Perrin and Fane?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I thought you would appreciate it because there was that one pivotal moment in the battle where Fail and him have that conversation, and he gets angry, and then she talks to him, and he walks over and he grabs. I want to say it was Layla's sledgehammer, but at this point he's been gone so long it could have just been a damn sledgehammer. But to me, that was the pivotal moment where he found his balance, because he had the axe, and then he went and got the hammer, went out and he didn't really kill anybody. Fail killed everybody for him, because he was like, kill anything I missed. He missed a lot.
He missed almost everything.
I don't know if he was missing on purpose, but I just thought it was really cool because he let, everybody's like, oh, why would he just kill Fane? And to be honest with you, from a military perspective, in the way my brain thinks, he did the right thing.
He did.
Only because it saved his people. Because if he'd have killed Fane, the Trollocs would have still been attacking. They wouldn't have gone anywhere.
Yep.
So it was the only way to get those people out of there and save his people, and he did an outstanding job.
I wanted revenge, but you're right. In my reaction video, I was a little harsh on Perrin, but you're right. Everyone's right. I also, Joe White, you're right. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Hot take: Aram will take Gaul's place, wanting Chiad, disliking Bane.
Oh, I saw that.
I saw that earlier, and I was like,
they did set the Bane and Chiad thing up with Aram, right? They were admiring him.
They did.
Yeah, but then they insulted
Even though
him,
he's
spit on the
a
ground.
traitor. What did they call him?
No, they called him a coward.
A coward. Oh, it's like the worst.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. No, he. And of course, after seeing episode 4, and of course we've read the books, sitting there and watch Bane and Chiad call him a coward and spit on the ground, when in reality they've held truer to the Aiel way than anybody else. The original. That was actually painful to me to see, because like, man, that one was harsh.
Yeah. But like, which one would you choose to be a part of? The Tinkers or the Aiel?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm an
Both
eye
of
for an
you.
eye kind of person.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm an eye for an eye. I'm yeah. Spears at dawn. I'm good with that.
I mean, the fact that they can't even kill like literal shadow spawn, things that are objectively
It's too restrictive.
evil.
Yeah.
There's got to be.
So we got 3 Aiels here. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, you too.
We had to
You're
choose.
an Aiel too. Okay, hell yeah.
I was about to say, I can't listen. I can't see Winespring just letting shadow spawn slide.
Like,
Dana who says
on with a baby, yeah.
Perrin, kill it. Oh yeah, with the baby, especially he had the sling for the baby. I was like, obviously,
Yeah, that Trolloc was amazing. By the way,
it was a wolf Trolloc, right?
It was almost like, I thought it was like a gorilla too, because it did the way it ran was like a gorilla, but its face was not. Its face was like a wolf. It was crazy. Just outstanding upgrade. Oof.
Yeah. Got to defend a baby. Trust me, I was over here like, this man. Good for him. Save that baby. And Miscellaneous says, I'm not over no gall. I'm still holding out hope. Y'all, am I Delulu? Maybe.
I think you're Delulu.
I think you're Delulu. It's possible. I think so. Follow your moves. Perrin/Fane, that was also the first time it was someone not fighting him, just down and unarmed. So not killing him was the right thing to do. And I want to say Dana Luhu said Perrin not killing Fane was foreshadowed in season 2, episode 1 in a talk with Ingtar. Because I remember he's like, I don't know what I'll do. If I see him again, essentially. And then Ingtar, right, was like, everybody should have a chance. I can't remember exactly how it went.
A second chance in the sun.
Something like that.
No, that wasn't what he said, but my brain.
So yeah, Perrin did the right thing. Okay, like
Well, it wasn't so much the right thing; it was the right thing for that character,
just for that moment.
Well, I mean, it was the right thing. He was down and unarmed. Like,
listen, anybody else would have just smote him.
Oh,
but he has so much power. Like, he showed how much power he has over the Trollocs. Don't you want to get rid of someone that can do that?
Okay.
Yeah.
For the long game?
I see what you mean. But your girl is, I don't want to get, well, you know what? Never mind. Sorry.
What do you, okay,
No, I can't, based on, well, let's move on.
All right. So I've heard a couple
God,
people.
I want to know so bad right now.
I'll tell you later.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
I've heard a couple of people mention that they felt that Fane was connected to the Trollocs, and I just want to say, in my view, I don't think that's the case. I think he was just in charge of the Trollocs and could speak Trolloc.
Yeah.
There was no Murdral connection to Fane.
They made it look like it.
They made it sound like it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because Perrin kept saying,
like, what?
Somebody's controlling them. I can't do the voice like Kritter does. Someone's controlling
them.
That was so good.
Oh my gosh. That's really
not good.
That was actually pretty good.
That was actually pretty good.
He's got such a soothing voice. I love it.
It's very breathy. Yeah.
It's so, it's deep and breathy.
Yeah.
So Kritter, do you think your theory is going to pass now that Fane is out on the loose? Do you think the Ibaras are still in danger?
God, I hope not. Perrin has suffered enough.
Suffered a lot.
Yeah, that's what I was. Whenever we were talking with Meredith, it was like they took his family dying and replaced them with Layla. Like, he's already been to the apple orchard. Dear God, don't send him back
to the apple. I like that. He's already been to the apple orchard. That's like in Yellowstone. Take him to the train station.
We got to be done.
Gosh.
I think. What do you think, Winespring? Do you think they're gonna?
I have no idea, because things are not like the books. I just can't wait to see what they do, and it's really hard for me to predict.
Yeah, Light Fool $10 super chat. The amount of times I said Perrin killed someone again in this episode, it was actually kind of nice to rest my vocal cords while he let Fane get away. So we're keeping tabs on Perrin's.
But he literally, okay, so out of all the deaths, I think Perrin killed maybe like 4.
Really?
And Fail had like 11.
Yeah, we nailed that.
Yeah, Fail had like 11.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Can we talk about Maxim leading the charge, but also the Two Rivers men pushing back about they wanted to use their longbows?
Then Bowie for the win? What?
I was so like, funny. Okay, so that was for sure Sin Bowie, right? I didn't actually.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming.
I was really good. Happy he did that. I was like, like they should be using their longbow.
And then they showed him. Mm-hmm. Then he was surprised. He was like, "Holy shit!" He wasn't kidding.
And they held the line really well.
The old Plud runs Strong in the Two Rivers.
Did you guys enjoy it was like just like a little icing of Maxim on the top of the cake. In the middle of the fight, he's literally standing up on a barricade doing this. Whap! And just shooting in every direction, just taking things out to help Perrin, like Legolas. And it was just amazing. He's just standing on this barricade, just like, twink. And he didn't even look. He was just like, whack!
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody earlier said it's not Helm's Deep because nobody snowboarded down a flight of stairs, but like Maxim, he was close.
He was close. He was close.
Close enough.
Yeah, he was close. And they even had the Whitecloaks show up just like the elves did.
Except for that the elves were
didn't bring
helpful.
Yeah, and they didn't bring any traders with them.
Oh my gosh, I have to point this out. We didn't talk about it earlier. Mikasa,
what?
The women's circle was so cool. That I got major goosebumps there.
Was it Miranavir said, "Women's circle, hold the line"?
Yeah.
Hold the line. I like cheered.
And then she was yelling for the Two Rivers and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
she's so little,
so small. Her and Fail, my gosh.
Yeah, is she smaller than Fail?
She looks like it.
I would have them stand next to each other before I know, because next to Bane and Shead, Fail looks like a child, and it is so funny. Like, it's amazing. I'm obsessed with her. She's small but mighty, obviously.
No, y'all read Brandon Sanderson, right? There's a character, Vin, that she's really small and uses that to her advantage. Yeah, I kind of, I haven't thought about it just now. It kind of reminds me of that.
Yep. Do we think Fane might be taking Valda's place? Well, there are Whitecloaks that escaped that know that Fane's a dark friend, so I think not.
I think though that Fane is going to have a much more prevalent spot on the show moving forward, and I think that does kind of replace Valda's evil, because Valda, the level of evil that Valda was not matched really, except for like the Forsaken. And now I think Fane is finally attaining his book arc, because we haven't seen that Fane yet until this episode, to be honest.
Do we see this in chat?
Which one?
We might need to check it. Honey D, the actress that plays Fail, is 5'7".
No.
That plays who?
Fail.
She is not 5'7".
You know what? It's probably like on my basketball roster in high school when they're like, yeah, Kritter's 5'9". I'm 5'7".
Maybe she can jump. Maybe she can jump 5'7". I don't know.
Like 5'7". That's like 5 inches taller than me.
I was about to say my wife is like 5'6", 5'7". There's no way in hell that Fail is that tall.
I don't believe it.
That would be wild.
That's insane. If you were correct, then more power to you, because I don't buy it unless everybody else is just giant.
I guess I know that Ragga Ragnars, who plays Bane, is incredibly tall.
She's like 6 foot.
Or taller, right?
No, I think she's like 6.
Okay. Now
I follow her on Instagram, and I
Maya Simonson. Let's see how tall she is. Who plays?
That's my blinded bull said 5'7" with 6-inch platform boots.
Okay, so Maya Simonson is 5'8". So either she was wearing insane heels, or Isabella is much shorter.
Yeah, because Chiad is way smaller than Bane is.
But she still towered over Fail.
No, I know that. Yeah. That's crazy.
Nina Lou says she's saying 5'5".
That's more likely, because the difference between 5'5" and 5'9"
7
or 5 is not.
2 inches is a lot.
Chiad's height isn't.
Yeah. Chiad was. What'd you say? 5'7"?
I already forgot.
I think you said 5'7".
I think I said 5'8".
Oh, 5'8"? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's 3 inches.
What? This isn't. What are we talking about, guys? It's 5'8". Yeah, she's 5'8". Okay. Anyways, guys, we got it's spoiler stream. We don't need to talk about how tall these people are.
That is true.
Stuff.
That is true.
I'm 5'7" with 6-inch boots. There you go. Yeah, Ragga Ragnars is a beast, but like a gorgeous beast.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love her Instagram. Her Instagram is just her traveling, eating snacks that she sponsors.
Well, yeah, and like
good for her.
I think she's from Iceland, or at least she's always in Iceland. And you know what? That is #goals, because Iceland is insanely beautiful.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Do we think Loial is gone?
No, I don't. I think
he is dead. But given this music, I think he'll be Hero of the Horn, and like there's a chance they'll bring him back at some point.
I don't want to agree with you, but I agree with you. There are a lot of theories, and I know that I peddle some online just because I like to see what other people think sometimes. And I'm also a big fan of just kind of trying to make, theories plausible because it's good thinking exercise. So the theories are one, that he's dead, right? And that he's coming back here to the Horn because of the music. Two, there's the landed on a different platform theory. There's my favorite theory because I created it, but I don't believe in it, which is sad, is that he was tree singing right before he died, and that's how they spawned the Waygates at the different steadings when the men that created the ways told him, set a marker, we'll get the ways to, then you tree sing, and it'll open the gates, create the Waygates. So that's just a crazy theory, but I love it.
Isn't what's the game? Is that Portal? Isn't there a game where you like opening up portals everywhere and like?
I do not know, but I want to play.
It's a very basic concept where it's like you just literally like create a portal, go through the portal, and then you like come out somewhere else, and you have to like beat maps. I put up your theory image here. If you don't follow Ta'veren Tavern on X and Blue Sky, you should, because he brings out gems like this where there's Loial and there's a platform below Loial.
So good.
So question mark, will he land on the platform? And as an Ogier, will he land softer than some would normally land?
Or heavier, because
on his feet.
On his feet.
They're like cats in that way. They always land on their feet.
There's one theory you didn't mention that I saw online that I actually really liked.
I might have missed it.
It is that he's falling towards the fin. And
I forgot about the fin.
And arrives in the fin, and then that's how he comes back on the show. Like Matt helps.
Yeah, I forgot about the fin.
That's a wicked one.
I really liked it, just because I want the fin. So anything that brings the fin for sure. I'm like,
You're
that
right.
one. That's
I
the
had
one.
heard of that because I also thought that the fact that he was beating on the Waygate, I'm calling it Waygate just to not stop calling it Way Column because it's way longer to say. He was using an iron hammer on the wall of the Waygate, which cannot open the way to the fin. So if we get the tower, or if we get, I'm wondering if the material is going to be the same, since they're kind of unifying the, Ta'veren Tavern, the Wolf Dream, and that kind of stuff. At least we think they are. That the material for the ways might be the materials for the Tower of Genji. But I don't know.
Interesting.
And people being concerned about him falling for eternity.
They said it was like Loki.
Red. But the thing is that all those platforms, you're not going to fall for forever. You're going to die. Like you're going to hit a platform.
If nothing else, you'll die of thirst, which is sad but true.
Yeah, like you've got 3 weeks tops.
Somebody
said
a long
time.
5 days.
5 days. There you go.
Somebody said he'd only fall for a half an hour like Loki did.
Yeah.
In the Marvel movies.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So I guess people in the chat, I'm getting some of your theories here. Somebody said that this is the first time they showed platforms under platforms, and there's a
no, that's
reason
not
for
true.
that. No,
they showed it in the first season. They with the lightning and stuff. They kind of showed it. It wasn't as detailed as they did this time.
Okay.
Makes me want to
That
go
is
look at
true.
it.
Jose Oliveira, he didn't knock 3 times. The creator was like,
sorry, it's just funny to see.
it.
Somebody else was like, what if Rand is skimming and he falls on the platform that Rand is skimming? I don't know that you skim through the ways, because what about Machin Shin? But you know what?
What about Machin Shin?
Who am I?
Where was Machin Shin?
Doesn't-
Somebody
Well,
said
no
that
one
they only
was
showed up.
channeling, no
That's
one
what they're
was,
saying.
right?
People are saying nobody was channeling, so they didn't show up. But
Well, also
I don't
the
remember
Dark
that being
Friends
the
and
case in the
stuff
books.
had it cleared out, right? Because well, I guess
Yeah,
no, it can get Dark Friends, so never
Yeah,
mind.
it'll kill Dark Friends.
But maybe Fane had a particular affinity with it because of how evil it is and how evil
Well, in the
he
books,
is.
Fane did have in the
That's
books
uncomfortable.
they did say that Fane understood Machin Shin. So,
Right.
and we saw that in season 1, he was able to go through even when Machin Shin was attacking the crew right out
No big
before the
deal.
Faldera, and he didn't have an issue. He was right there, not too far away, and it didn't affect him. So that was interesting.
He's been tortured enough.
What about the moment that Bane and Shiad are like, Loial, what's that word after king? And they're like, oh, Aemon, blah, 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 Althoran. And they're like, oh, Althor, like Rand, the Karakarn? And he just kind of looked up like, oh, shit. Like, and then he went into the whole maiden's kiss, like they're trying to throw us off. I literally think they took him by surprise with that question, and it goes to my theory that Tam Althor is a direct descendant of that king, because he lives up mountain in his mountain home.
Oh,
I mean, I think
okay.
Al is like a
Is
royal
Al
indicator.
is
Oh, is it of? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
For
like
some reason
it's
I
like
thought it was-
Egwene of Veer or Rand of Thor.
Okay, well,
you
never
know, or
mind.
Thorin or whatever.
JK. Laura Silverbow, 199 super chat. Thanks, Wheel and Chill. Thank you for being here. This has been great.
Yay, Laura.
Yay.
Yeah. Oh, in our stars, Kate says, I'm only sad that Bane and Chiad weren't there to fall down laughing when Fael took Perrin through that whole journey of everyone feels fear, but then ended with not being a big baby.
That was hilarious. 'Cause of course, I'm not a big baby. That was
awesome.
so good.
I love her.
And she
Yeah.
delivers her lines so perfectly.
So perfectly.
Oh.
So where does this episode rank for you guys?
Ooh. Why would you
Oh,
do
the
that to me now?
seriousness all of a sudden.
Well, I'm going to say it was not my favorite.
Well,
I
yeah,
know a lot of
you-
people are saying it's their favorite.
Yeah, no, a lot are saying it's not.
It's a controversial one for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't like it because it pulled me out of the immersion.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Which
Like
part
after-
did you say?
When Loial in the middle of the fighting, all of that happening,
Oh,
and then
right.
Loial dies, and now you can't think of freaking anything else,
Yeah.
right? With except for why did they just do that? It wasn't even a oh my god, Loial. No, it was, to me in my brain was like, why did they just do that? And then I couldn't get back into the episode.
Okay.
I mean, I got over it once I watched it the second and third and fourth time, but it's still that initial thing. It pulled me out, and I didn't like it. So
Yeah.
that was it. Yeah,
Bitch pulled me out.
bitch was
That was
hilarious.
surprise. I agree. That one was
Right. Thank you. Okay. I was like, I didn't.
Lanfear
what?
did say bitch in season 2, so it's not.
Yeah,
It wasn't
unheard
jarring,
of.
apparently. At least not for me, because I don't remember it. It was her, right? Yeah, she was.
It was
bitch.
Alana said
It
it.
was Alana
Yeah,
who said bitch.
it's
Yeah,
because it was a
interesting.
perfect spot for a good, you know.
I'm just not used to like our world. cursing
Exactly.
Versus
Yeah,
theirs.
it should
I don't
have
know how to
been a
word
Randland curse. It should have been a
Yeah,
Randland
yeah.
curse, and it wasn't, and that was surprising.
Yeah, I don't think it was my fave, but it was. God, I'm gonna have to rewatch this whole thing before we do our rating.
Oh, 100%
episode.
going to. Yeah.
Rating episode.
But it
Yeah.
was in the top half. I'll give it that. Yeah, it was in
Okay.
the top half.
Which one would you say is your first at this moment, you
I
guys?
think episode 4.
Yeah.
Episode 4 and episode 1 are both really up there for me.
Yeah.
It's close. I want to say 6. 6 was the
Samel.
Sarah. Yeah. 6 is
Ooh.
probably up there for me. With a close second for 1 and 4. I
Yeah.
mean, but we're talking fractions at this point.
Oh, I know. They're so
Right.
So
Yeah, we're talking
unbelievably
fractions
close.
because they're really good. Yeah.
I'm 4, 7, 1. After that, I
Ooh.
think I have to think about it.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, didn't you
We're
say
similar pages?
who was it? Mr. Moonbound or was it Mr.
It's his favorite.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
It was his favorite, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
this one was
The
Mr. Critter's
battling,
favorite as well.
everything.
Really?
Yeah.
hmm
It was a great episode of TV. Like,
Yeah.
It was.
Mr. Critter, who I have talked about before as being a bit of a book purist. He's a little bit of a
Book cloak.
He's a minor book cloak, okay?
Minor book cloak.
It's acceptable. It's
We
acceptable.
love him anyways, but he is very attached to the books and he's very attached to the boys. And so,
Yeah.
you know,
They're great.
yeah.
They are amazing.
So, you know, Rand, for example, hasn't gotten everything that he got in the books up until this point, right? He's had a lot of moments that he hasn't gotten, so Mr. Critter doesn't love that. But anyways, this was his favorite episode of the series.
Wow.
The whole series.
The whole series.
Yeah, he
That's
said
impressive.
that this episode more than any other got back to its fantasy roots.
Yes.
I will
totally
I will
agree with
say
him.
yes. I will say yes because of the Trollocs and I think when we don't get the fantasy creatures, it takes us out of that a bit, and I can see that.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like a battle against, battle between good and evil. It's like, it's not as
Yeah.
political, which is like not his favorite part. The politics, it was just very much like there's love, there's loss, there's fighting. It's fantasy. fantasy.
It's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really good.
I would say that's why I like it. And for 4, it's kind of the same thing for the sci-fi vibe. It's so sci-fi
I
that
know,
it's
I
like
love
you can't help but love it. Yeah.
And
Very cool.
to Mr. Critter's point, somebody in chat said, I think it was Denise M mentioned that I thought the Tuathan taking the children into the mountains to escape was a call back to the Manetheren story. 100%. The tunnel.
like that.
Actually, that's another Helm's Deep thing.
Secret tunnel. Sorry. That also, if you watched Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Yeah.
the moment they said
tunnel.
secret tunnel, I was like, secret tunnel.
I love that. That's so funny.
Okay, so what do you all think about the girls? And by the girls, I mean Bode, and I can never remember her sister's name.
I want to say Eldrin, but now
Yeah,
I'm like,
I think it is.
Eldred, right?
I think it's Eldrin or Eldred. Yeah, something like that.
okay.
Maybe one of those. Yeah.
To me, it seemed, especially okay. So, and I didn't get this until the Valda thing, right? Because when they healed Alana, it was cool, and they were working together. But when they took out Valda, it was clear that they had basically taught themselves to link, because they were linked
For sure.
100% without any assistance. And a lot of people are getting confused that they're saying that they're twins. They're not twins. One is older than the other, supposedly, in the books and on the show, if I'm not mistaken. But they act like twins when they channel, which I thought was really, really cool.
Mhm.
Oh, look at that shot. That shot is incredible. And
Finn
look how
says
wild
that
the
they're
weaves are.
twins in the show, not in the book. See, I
Oh,
tend
they
to
are
agree.
twins in the
They
show.
look
I
the
thought they
same
were.
age,
Yeah.
and they look so similar. Dana Lou, who I love that you thought of me for the secret
Okay,
tunnel
so I
line.
wasn't. I was not sure that they had made them twins in the show. That's awesome.
This moment where they linked and like stood up before you could see the channeling reminded me of The Shining with the
Yeah.
twins at the end
Oh
of the
my God.
hallway. I was like, "Woo, creepy!"
It was a
Like,
little-
they
Valda
did
showed
it.
up on his Valda showed up on his power wheel.
Yeah,
Oh
zapped.
shit!
Yeah.
That's so interesting, Two Rivers Badger. I wonder if that is
What was
their
the question?
block. Like he said, maybe they can't channel unless they're linked.
Which would
That
be
would
such
be-
a twin
That
thing.
would be
you
such a
guys.
cool block. Such a
That
twin
would be
thing.
freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, the
Yeah.
twin thing was bugging me too. I wasn't sure, but that makes
I
sense. And
love that as a twin
look how
thing.
wild their weaves are, though. Right?
Oh yeah,
They're
I mean they're
alive.
wilders for
No,
sure.
no, no. I know
Yeah.
that. But I love how they're doing that on the show.
Yeah.
How
One of the-
every caster has a different way that they channel.
Yeah, especially with the Wilders. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just what they need, whatever.
The moment of mentioned that they were calling Matt like bladder blower and that
Oh
kind
my
of
god,
stuff.
that was so good.
One of the twins, I don't know which one it is in the moment, just the way she kind of laughs and steps away and like touches her face, I thought was so good. As far as like acting goes and showing just like childish like playfulness in this moment, making it, I loved that moment, like that they really like it looked like they were really laughing at their brother.
I'm gonna go out
I
on a limb
loved
and
it.
say that was an outtake that they were having them. No, I'm not kidding, because it looked too real.
The laugh was
to
so
be
genuine.
acting.
Like,
Yeah, it looked too real to be acting. Even Perrin and Loial were cracking up,
Yeah.
and I think they were just throwing stuff out for them to say,
Mhm.
and that's what they caught, and it was perfection.
I mean, she stepped back a certain way and touched her
Yeah.
face and everything. I was like, that girl is laughing at bladder blower for real.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I agree with you.
I truly thought of you, Tavern, whenever they were making
Oh,
fun of the
yes.
horn.
Oh,
Yeah. Like,
go-
good for the writers.
Can
and
you go back
all
to
of
the
that.
shot that you just had up there with
Which shot?
the silhouette of Valda in front of the girls?
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Because I wanted to bring up a point
There it
that
is.
we actually haven't discussed, and that's that the implications of what's to come with Valda out of the show, which does not coincide with the books whatsoever, right? So now we have to friggin' wonder what happens with the whole Galad storyline and that confrontation.
Oh, yeah, we should definitely talk about that.
Because in this shot, I wanted to see the shot again because you clearly see his sword silhouetted against the fire. That reminds us that he has a heron marked blade. He's a blade master, and that's how Galad becomes the leader of the children because of that fight. So now we're not going to get that.
Yeah. You know what? That is completely something that at the end of this episode, I thought, like, are they accelerating the trial? And and is like, so it'll be before Galad ever becomes a Whitecloak.
Yeah.
Which would be so sad in my mind, because that is like, I love Galad as a character in the books because of the because of the Whitecloak arc. Like his ultimate resolution.
Genuine, or
what?
Is it because he's genuine, or what is it?
It's because he's at his core, he wants to do good, right?
He wants to do the right thing all the time.
Ultimately, he realizes that the right thing is to let Perrin go, right? Like all these stupid Whitecloaks are like, kill Perrin, like Perrin and I, wolf brother, blah, whatever. And finally, Galad is like, that's not the right thing, you know? And it's like, he takes this huge journey of being like a little insufferable prick to like, actually, I'm not really sure about what's happening here. Maybe it needs to be fixed. You know what? I'll fix it. And then I'm going to be a just leader. Like, very cool.
He saw the injustice in a society that was supposed to be just, or in a
I'm about to start crying.
That was supposed to be,
Because I agree. I love it. These books are so good.
Jose Oliveira said, to be fair, it's a win-win, Tavern. Less Galad.
But he's...
But it's good.
I mean, later on in the books, he becomes such a good character.
Yeah.
Oh, now we could. Now, if you said less Bruno, I would have been completely okay with that.
So the question is Dane taking Galad's arc?
I mean, we still have Asunawa. Somebody mentioned Asunawa earlier that we haven't seen, and they were sending requests for reinforcements to somebody. So we still think that there's somebody in charge of the Whitecloaks that we have not met yet. At least I think so.
Yeah. So, because it wouldn't make sense for Perrin to like surrender himself and then escape, right? So the only thing I know about next episode is what I've seen in IMDb. And on IMDb, Perrin, Fail, Bane, and Shiad are all listed. And so to me, Fail, Bane, and Shiad suggests rescue attempt. But I don't think that Perrin would like agree with that, because he's trying to resolve this stuff with the Whitecloaks, right? So I don't know. To me, it's like, for Perrin to maintain his honor, unless something happens to him while they're in the camp, that would be like he realizes that they don't deserve his time. He has to go through with the trial.
Yeah, and I think we're getting the trial. I think we're gonna get, and it's gonna be too quick, and it's gonna suck. I think that we're gonna get some Two Rivers, and it's gonna be a sad ending to what we just witnessed, the gloriousness that we just witnessed. I think, but we'll see. I mean, they've surprised me before on the show, and again. I had this conversation yesterday with the Way of the Leaf guys that were like, you know, we don't like the way the show is doing certain things. And for me, this is a growth moment for me. I explained to them and said, listen, we're in season 3. If you haven't figured out that they've changed it from the books by now and not just accepted it as a show that's a good show, I don't know what to say to you.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not the books. You're right, it's not the books.
It's a different
a good freaking show.
It's a great show.
That's what Mr. Kritter always says. He's always like, if I could like remove myself from my knowledge of the books and just go into this to watch a show, then it's a fine show. Like, it's a fun show. I would enjoy it. I would watch it for sure. But he's just got that book stuff like churning, right? Which is probably why this episode was his favorite, because it was very not exactly the same, obviously, but also having read the books, he's like, Loial doesn't really do much after this, so it makes sense that they would just let him go out in a blaze of glory instead of just keep him around to literally be a scribe, like, for the most part. Obviously he does some other stuff, but like not necessary for the primary plot.
Do you think, I mean, because if I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, from the books, they have the trial. I think they still find Perrin guilty, and then the people don't let him go and they have to release him.
No, like for the trial?
Yeah, in
like
the Two Rivers.
In the late books? Oh, no.
In the Two
Rivers, Perrin, he tricked them. He said that he would not stop them from taking him. And then the Two Rivers was like, people are like, but we will.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So like, it was a tricksy hobbits. But in the books later, I think Morgase said that Perrin was guilty, but then she let Galad choose the punishment, and Galad was like, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
You know, if I remember right.
Manetheren could be like, I don't know, we'll make it like you just pay us. That's
right. Finn says Galad sentences him to fight at the last battle. Right. So he's like, you're gonna do the thing you were already gonna do.
Yeah.
Pretty good. It's
Yeah.
well played.
It's like sending him to the block to the wall.
To the wall.
Yeah, in Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Miss Angela, maybe Galad and Rand kill Robin together to avenge Morghese, and we get an actual brother reveal.
Oh.
Yeah, I want Galad to do something, guys. Give him... Somebody else said maybe he dies in the Tower Coup, which would be a
Galad?
waste.
No, there's
Yeah.
only one person that needs to happen to. That's only one person. Bruno can just go f off.
Hey, you know what
I hope Hamar takes his ass out.
Wow.
Is all I'm saying.
Wow.
Oh, can we
heard it
say?
here on Willis.
Listen, can we say I can't wait for Talonvor? Am I right?
If we get him, we didn't get Gaul.
Because
So.
not cast right at all yet.
No, I don't think people are saying that
Men,
the Talonvor thing might end up being Tom.
Oh, I haven't heard that
That
one.
they might
Tom
put
might just
Tom
like
and
accompany Matt.
Morghese together.
Hmm.
And I'm like,
Oh.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess if the Tower Coup happens next episode, and I
Yeah.
assume that this hasn't been spoiled, if it happens, do we think Swan dies?
Like dies?
Dies.
No, I
You
don't.
think because they said their goodbyes in the dream?
Because they said their beautiful goodbyes in the dream.
But doesn't her story do so much more?
Yes.
Yeah, I
but
mean, she becomes
clearly
Egwene's
the
mentor.
show doesn't care.
Such a good reminder.
About of our
I hate
emotions.
it.
The show doesn't care about our emotions.
I thought we were headed towards the stilling or severing.
I mean,
that
it's still
one.
possible. It's still possible, and I think I don't think she's gonna die. I personally don't think she's gonna die.
Okay.
I mean, if she does, I'll be like, whatever.
I heard somebody say like maybe Moraine will take her place because we don't want to lose Moraine for like a super long time. So maybe she like goes through the doors and then comes back in like half a season and then becomes Egwene's mentor.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Maybe. Well, and Ta'veren had a theory about the death that we weren't going to be happy about.
Oh no.
That I didn't get as a
Ta'veren was like, "Guys, say what happened."
Oh, which one are we talking about?
You were like, "Oh my gosh."
A Loial thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're
wait,
trying
I thought
not
you
to get away for you.
I thought
but...
you mentioned it beforehand. I thought you
did you?
mentioned it beforehand, or Kritter had it at the beginning or earlier. So basically, we had that interview with Rafe before the first season where he mentioned that somebody on the cast or crew had read some of the scripts, and when they got to the script for the third season, at the end there was they were shocked by a death, and they were like really mad at Rafe about it, and we've all been thinking that it's Moraine because they're moving up the timeline, and we know that the whole Moraine and Lanfear thing is coming to a clash. But what if it wasn't Moraine that he was talking about, and it was actually Loial the entire time? Because we're still losing Moraine because we know that's going to happen. Now, whether they, like Kritter said, whether they swap her out for Swan or something like that, I don't know. At this point, I really don't understand the direction that they're going in with some of the characters. So, and that's fine, because I would rather have something that keeps me guessing than to know what's going to happen and be pissed about how they did it. You know what I mean? So yeah. So the shocking death from that interview could have been Loial the entire time.
Yeah.
And we've been wrong the whole.
Because everyone's upset. There are people saying they're not going to watch anymore.
Oh yeah, people are pissed.
You know, like I'm done now. I mean, I'm sure they're all going to watch.
Light Fool is thinking that
but-
the finale is going to end in all cliffhangers.
That would be freaking sick.
That would it?
That would be sick.
I remember being really annoyed at the end of, and I'm not going to spoil, but at the end of House of the Dragon season 2, because that ending was literally like every plot that had been built up for the entire season ended in a cliffhanger, and I was like, really?
I didn't finish season 2. I started and I didn't finish it.
So if that happens, I hope we get some kind of resolution.
The only reason I wouldn't like that with Wheel of Time is because they haven't said they're renewing season 4 yet.
Yeah.
And that would be painful. Like to leave us like that.
So
it would.
From a factual, or I wouldn't say factual, a in real life response to the Loial thing and the death. Somebody, I think it was Jansen, that was pointing out that looking at not the actor, but having an actor in makeup, which takes extra time and they get paid extra for that, who has way more time in the books that should have way more time in the series, like Loial, moving forward is just not cost effective. And I think, and they're thinking that that's the reason, because they're going to have way more scenes. And so they nixed him now before it just gets out of control and they have to spend a ton of friggin' money.
Well, apparently
on
Hamed
that.
is also like incredibly uncomfortable every time they have to like put him
Yeah,
in all those
it's
prosthetics.
possible, yeah.
And so again, I said this, it makes sense that he dies here
Yeah,
because this was his
yeah.
coolest thing.
Yeah,
and
true.
it's a pain in the ass to be Loial. Essentially, like as
Mhm.
practically, it's a pain in the ass to be Loial. And so,
and they gave him
an awesome,
they gave him a decent death. Yeah.
And the door's open for him to come back.
Yep,
Here
true.
the horn music played. They can throw him in the prosthetics a couple of times. You know, like
Yeah.
Can I ask you two something about that particular moment?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure. What?
What's up? I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
Oh, also we need to be done soon. But yes,
I know.
what's
I've
the
been
question?
really surprised. I'm like, we're going.
My question is the following: why did Loial pick that particular song to sing in his final moments? Because he didn't hear Perrin singing it at the pass, right, when he was singing the Manetheren song, and Loial, out of the blue, he's in the ways by himself, starts humming "Weep for Manetheren," which I thought was, now maybe it was because of the Waygate, that he was at the Manetheren Waygate, but I don't know why he would have chosen that particular song to hum at that time. Any thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can we go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go.
Okay. So, I mean, mine could just, I have no proof for it. It's all just, sweetness, I guess. So like they're all just connected. So in that moment was, Perrin also singing, it. And so then Loial, like in his spirit being connected to his friend, started singing it too. Like everything's just connected.
I thought about that as well. I thought that they might have some kind of connection, but it still didn't make sense to me.
I mean, whenever they showed up to the Two Rivers again, Loial is like, this is Manetheren, right?
Yeah.
And like he talked
Yeah.
about it. Daniel
Yeah.
in the chat saying he was writing about Manetheren.
That's true.
It might just make sense that it was the top of mind,
Oh,
and he was
Lottie just said it. Sorry, he's dying for Manetheren.
He's dying for Manetheren. That was the next.
Sorry, that got me. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No,
that's
that's
exactly what I
amazing.
was going to say. So you and me, Lottie, same page.
Yeah, I hit.
So,
John Henry.
So yeah, it was a beautiful death,
It was.
and
It
I
was
think it
actually-
was a death, but
Because it was in the script, according to Honey D. That's pretty good. I love it.
Listen, the level of compassion in our chat is incredible.
oh,
I love
Knuckles'
it so much.
mustache. That's so sweet because it killed Loial's historian heart to destroy the last remaining piece of the amazing grove at Manetheren.
Yes.
So he was weeping for the Waygate because it was a piece
Yeah.
of Manetheren.
I
Okay,
love
Knuckles'
that.
mustache is not allowed at my funeral.
That's
I want
deep.
people to laugh. Is all
Wow.
I'm saying. He's
Not cry. That's really nice. That's really nice.
beautiful. I
Okay,
like that.
and on that note, I think it's
Yes.
time for our wrap up sesh. So this has been awesome. Meredith was super fun. Her
Yay.
insights were great. It was great catching up. I haven't actually talked to her about the show almost at all because when I reached out to her to be a guest, it was for last episode. It was like feeling her out about last episode, and she like was busy that weekend, and she's like, I'm still catching up, like, but it sounds, it's been amazing so far or whatever. And so the fact that she like binged it essentially in the last like week and a half is
That's
hilarious. So anyways, it was really nice to have her back, but we're going to do our final goodbyes as we always do on the Wheel and Chill show. Thank you everyone in the chat for being here. Tavern,
Yay.
why don't you take the floor?
Yeah. So my final thoughts again. Another great episode. I had my personal issues with it, but it is what it is. But another amazing episode. They keep raising the bar. I saw a thing on Watt series, I think, or maybe it was Wheel of Time TV on Facebook, or somebody had posted that we have surpassed a couple of like House of the Dragon season 2 and one of the other shows in points as far as how highly ranked they are. So that's impressive.
It is.
Aside from that, go check out Kritter stuff, follow her, do her things, and go eat Winespring's food because it's delicious.
Okay,
Buy Tavern's merch.
Yeah,
I bet.
Tavern's merch. Buy Tav's merch. It's great
Let's
stuff.
see. Final thoughts for me would be Yosha is going to be at a con soon
In Romania, yep.
in Romania.
Yep.
And I am anticipating that to be the announcement for season 4. I'm just going to cross all my fingers, everybody, just all of them. Like that's when we get our big renewal, because that would be cool because, you know, he's one of the main characters, whether people like him or not, he is.
Some would argue he is the main character,
He
and
is
many
the
have
main
argued
character.
that.
Yeah, entertaining arguments everywhere. Yeah, so I hope that we get that renewal. If not before, then at least by then. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that, and I am personally hoping that they've waited so long to renew it because they wanted to feel out how this season was going, and they always knew they were going to renew for season 4, and maybe we'll get a double renewal because of how good it's been.
Please.
I mean, obviously this is wishful thinking, but I do want to say, and Jordan Con's coming up too. Oh, is that this weekend?
yeah.
None of us get to go.
No.
So I'll probably be posting like in, in FOMO mode
Yeah,
from
really.
last year's Jordan Con because I'm going to miss it. Tab what? Yes.
I have one announcement for the Jordan Con thing. So the last episode of the Watt Fantasy League will be happening live at Jordan Con, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not going to be next Sunday at 5 p.m. They're trying to figure out which time they're going to do it. So it might be a Saturday night thing. So they're going to figure that out. We will not be there, but Adalorna, if I'm not mistaken, will be at Jordan Con. And when we win, she's going to pick up the
it's
belt
not
for
this
us.
weekend. It's next weekend.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more
So
sense.
whenever the
The
weekend
FOMO will be
is,
strong.
Adalorna will be picking up our belt for us.
Yep.
All right, because we're going to win. All right, awesome. Thank you all for being here. This has been such a fun stream. We'll
Bye,
hope to
children.
see you next week where we will have multiple show-only guests, so don't miss it. It's going to be a blast. The season finale happens this week, and I'm hoping it's going to be amazing, and we at least have one thing resolved. At least one non-cliffhanger, but we'll see.
I love it.
We'll see. All right,
it.
guys. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you later. Bye.